This thumbnail's wild. The worst thing that happened to like the Twitch spoil space and stuff like that, all this political tendrils coming into it. I don't understand why you're okay, we're getting the Mutahar retard defenders in again. Oh, you people are so fun. Oh, here's counterpoint. You are such a wretched little freak. Every single time Briannu Wu is mentioned, you appear to sweep for your mistress.
We're good.
Okay, I have to push back on that because I do know Keffals. I don't think she sits there and actively thinks she's better than everyone.
The reason why a lot of people wanted this site gone is because it held their worst skeletons in the closet.
Oh my god!
Stuff that would consistently deconstruct their narratives they put out.
No, but you're still giving her excuses for You're still saying, oh, she's had trauma, she's had this, she's had that, she's had she's had people harm. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes, Wu is a fucking enormous snake. It's so obvious, you know? Like, just like a political operator. It's so clear. The last time I spoke to Briannu Wu was probably 7 months ago or something like that. And she got into some gay beef with President Sunday and came on the stream to talk about it. And I was just like, I don't really care about this. Like, it was like trying to use my stream as a way to like launder some news or something, like in the drama cycle that had come out. And it wasn't even that big a deal. It was just like some gay, yes, Stylo, exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. It was some gay, like, Wix, it was like some gay server, Wick, fucking retard Wick, some server drama or something, and I wasn't even covering it or talking about it because it was so bullshit and minimal. But we still came on to, like, spin the narrative on, like, a drama channel like mine. I don't know, it just made me feel, I was like, fuck off. Like, why are you coming onto my stream to, like, pre-sweep for some controversy you're involved in? Well, Creamer's got a point, yeah. Yeah, they had a fucking Bosch video. They had a Bosch video when he's had his fucking horse lolly controversy. Insane. But yeah, anyway, it's, yeah, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I find it very fucking annoying because I know that Briannu Wu is, like, just a political operator. And all of this that you're seeing is like an aspect of that. Because Briannu Wu, like, defended Keffals for ages, right? And I mean defended, not just like was nice, like defended Keffals, like tweeting out about Keffals. And, you know, I saw a clip of Rakaita Law and, you know, there's a tweet of Briannu Wu that Rakaita Law was going over and it was just explicitly defending what Keffals was doing. Crazy. So anyway, I just find it very irritating that, you know, there's people that are now kind of like, oh, wow, Briannu Wu, based. It's like, no, it's not fucking based. It's not based at all. You know, it is exactly what Queen was talking about earlier, where it's like, now that everything that's happened to disavow, especially when Keffals has, like, you know, attacked Briannu Wu, it's like, no.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Like,
but how do I
well done for doing the bare minimum at the latest possible time for yourself. It's so crazy to me that people are acting like this is good. Now, I've obviously seen the tweet where Brianna said, oh, I've woken up and I've changed my mind now. But yeah, I don't know. It's really fucking annoying. Oh yeah, stuff like this. Is what you're talking about. We're cheering on Destiny's ban.
Okay, fine. So here's a question. You enter a shady business, okay? Let's say that there is a woman, she's locked in a fucking cage, and it says, not going to be freed until she's raped. You know that no matter what happens, somebody has to rape that woman in order for her to get freed. I would say that. I think that people are like, yeah.
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
Right. Well done, Brianna. Well done. Well done now for coming out at the last possible moment and disavowing Keffals. It's just so insufferable to me that people are acting like this is a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's the bare fucking minimum at the last possible second. Anyway, that being said, let's have a look at the actual video. So this was on...
Hello.
this thumbnail's wild. So that's Just the Worm's Art of Everyone, and you've even got Nicholas DeOrio down there. That is Ryzek's work. I recognise Ryzek's work anywhere. Eh? Ryzek, we love Ryzek on this channel. That's Ryzek, dude. This is apparently the commentary community versus Briannu Wu on the topic. And I think Keemstar joins, Nicholas joins, Mutahar joins. So yeah, it should be a good one. Let's see what happens.
What's up, Brianna?
Hello? Brianna?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
Briannu Wu.
Oh.
You didn't think it was me? I'm not a YouTuber, dude. Why?
Okay, so prediction. Briannu Wu will come on and will say something positive about one or some of the parties involved in order to solicit immediate rapport, right? That's a classic Briannu Wu move. Come on and say something nice.
Why would I have, like, that YouTube channel is like my pinball machine malfunctioning and showing like clips to technicians. So yeah, that's why
I don't know anything about, I don't know anything.
And then that will be followed by endless political pandering and meandering and, you know, oh, you know, that's a fair point, but like, dude, oh God, it's so fucking infuriating. Dude. The worst thing that happened to like the Twitch bowl space and stuff like that is all of this political fucking like shit coming in, you know, all this political fucking tendrils coming into it. It's fucking insufferable, bro. It's fucking insufferable to me, right? I hate it. I fucking despise it. It's like, yeah, it's like someone's trying to split your head open and put like little, like you've got like little needles on your hand, okay? And it's like connected to some computer to control you. And it kind of puts it in your brain and then it's dancing you around like a puppet, you know? That's what they're trying to do. That's what it feels like they're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking insufferable. Anyway, let's continue.
Anything about, I know you were big during Gamergate, so
Yeah.
I figured you were just had like a big YouTube channel or something.
No,
I didn't know
like
that.
I've never been a YouTuber at all.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I just want to warn you, we are not the kind of guys to have like the trans conversation with. We're kind of except for Beckett.
No worries. Yeah,
So
I was
if
just
you-
listening to your show. I was just
Yeah.
listening to your stuff.
So if you want to give your or clarify, you're welcome to. Right?
Oh my God. No, I think you're right. I mean, like a lot of people, you know, Jenny was telling me she thought that statement came off as defending Keffals, and I think that's fair criticism. I obviously
Okay. This is going to drive you insane. Okay, let's just listen to it, okay? If you see it, you see it, okay? If you see it, you see it. Hopefully you'll see it. It's a very, like, there's a kind of a controlled, it's like media training control type shit that I always hear whenever Briannu Wu speaks.
can't defend any of the shit in that video. I contributed to Keffals GoFundMe. It was disappointing to see how some of that was spent. So I don't know. I just wanted to say, like, I obviously can't defend that. Don't defend that. I just like watching it. I wanted to see a sentence from him, just acknowledging that, healthcare for minors is being dismantled in the United States. And to me, it's exactly like abortion. If you take away women's access to legal abortion, they're going to go get it in illegal ways. And I think this.
Okay, this is such a retarded comparison because with abortion, you have got a physical thing inside you that has to go somewhere, okay? Like, obviously, abortion is a very different topic. I mean, without getting into all the nuances of what the right believe about it and stuff, right? But that's a physical condition that you have something inside you, right? Which we've got well-documented, well-established protocols for how we deal with that and what we do with that. Whereas the fucking DIY HRT stuff, first of all, particularly for adolescents, is not fucking confirmed as the best way to go about it. And, secondary to that,
Okay,
I just
that's
do
wonderful.
not think...
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Why does Wu always sound like she's trying to stop herself from swallowing her Adam's apple?
Stylo. I disavow. Thank you for the 333. Here's the fundamental thing with it, okay? Regardless of anything else, it's very simple, okay? I do not fucking care what your gay argument is about this, okay? At no point would I ever support or advocate for children purchasing fucking DIY HRT from a fucking website with lolicon marketing, bro. It's not gonna happen. I don't care what fucking bullshit argument you got. Oh, support this policy. I don't fucking care. It's not happening, okay? I'm fucking glad that weird website, whatever it was called, Vanna Farmer, was that it? The one that got shut down by the fucking UK government. Based. Good. Good, I want more of that, please. Yes, unregulated pharmacy websites should be shut down more, correct. Yes, okay? Would it have an impact? Maybe, I don't fucking know. But I'm never going to fucking support that, no matter what fucking policy bullshit argument you want to make, okay? It's just insane to me that it's like, well, the government isn't doing it perfectly. So, okay, so in America, right, you've got problems with healthcare and maybe someone's got cancer and can't afford the treatment, say, okay? Would you advocate for them seeking out homemade chemotherapy treatments on a fucking dodgy website that only accepts cryptocurrency? Like, would you genuinely say that's a good idea and people should do that, right? Or would you say there's some lines we can't cross? There's just some lines we've got to say, okay, it's too much of a risk. It's too much of a problem. We shouldn't cross that fucking line, you know? Like, what, homemade chemotherapy? What? Maybe. You genuinely don't think that's something where you should just go, no, that's a terrible idea and you shouldn't do that. Compared to what? No. What I'm saying is there are just some lines that you shouldn't cross. And you should say, okay, we shouldn't go down that route because it's too risky.
Parasite in a woman's suit. A-okay hand.
Thank you for the 10 Australian dollars. I don't know. I feel like people have got it in their heads that because something is imperfect, any possibility that you can present to the alternative is worthy of consideration. Right? And I just think, no, you've got to draw some fucking hard lines in the sand and just be like, no, that's fucking crazy. In terms of like, you know, if an adult decided to do it, I'm for the government shutting it down. The government should shut that shit down and should put a stop to that stuff. If someone of their own accord decides to do it, I mean, that's their decision at the end of the day. But I would always personally advise against it and say that's bad. You should find another way and another solution, right? And the government should shut down unregulated pharmacy sites. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if a person is like, I've got fucking cancer and I don't know what else to do and this is my last option, I would say find another option. This is crazy. If they did it, I mean, they're an adult to go and do what they want to do, right? But what I'm saying is I don't think you should promote that. I don't think you should say that's a good idea. I don't think that you should be like, oh yeah, no, that's a good way to resolve that issue actually, right? It should always be treated as a negative thing that you shouldn't do because of the risks that are involved, you know? And the other thing as well is they make this argument, well, you know, most fucking DIY HRT is like pharmaceutical products. And it's like, okay, nice argument. Why is it that the ones that you seem to be fucking talking about and you see promoted are these fucking insane ones where they're mixing the shit themselves? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there any way, like, even if you wanted to argue about the pharmaceutical ones being acceptable, right? Which, obviously, at a website level, I don't think they should be, and I think the government should shut that shit down. But nonetheless, why is it so difficult to separate out then? Why is it that DIY HRT always seems to come attached with some element of a homemade fucking product being sold somewhere?
That's wonderful.
You know?
How do I make money off
Why is it that there's always this fucking DIY thing happening?
Kids to off themselves. I think it's perfectly safe for these children to inject themselves with mystery elixirs with cat hair.
Thank you, Chomo Tipster, for the 333. So yeah, there's this argument, oh well, some of them are just pharmaceutical products that you're just purchasing online. Okay, well, why is it that these fucking, the entire fucking website itself of DIY is got numerous examples of providers that are mixing or making their own fucking medicine? Do you see what I mean? It's like, you claim it's, well, some is pharmaceutical, okay? And, you know, if there was a fucking way to make it so it's only the pharmaceutical options, I would still have a problem with that, but that could be like an argument you might make. But it always seems to come attached with this fucking weirdo, mix it, fucking Troonshine. It comes always, it's fucking Troonshine always seems to be part of the fucking conversation, does it not? Because it's like, you know, give an inch and they take a mile. Oh, some of it is pharmaceutical products. But, you know, if we can't get hold of that, and the only option is some fucking retard making it in their bedroom, then we'll have to go with that instead. I don't fucking know if I could say that or not, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I don't fucking care anymore, okay? Yikes, my dude. Listen, learn to take the fucking joke. It's a meme, okay? Yes, it's a bad word, but it's also kind of funny.
Same thing is true for minors. So, you know, if we're serious about keeping kids safe, because I don't want any of these kids to do DIY hormones, right? We've got to get really serious about funding this area of public policy, if that makes sense.
Can I ask you?
Wait, hang on a sec.
Any of these kids to do DIY hormones, right? We've got to get really serious about funding this area of public policy, if that makes sense.
Can I ask you?
Nicholas was right the first time round in that tweet where you know, what did he say? Oh, you cannot possibly criticize DIY HRT until you've provided a 30-minute thesis on actually the public policy prescriptions for this. No. Sorry, I can look at a situation of a kid talking to an adult on the internet and the adult saying, actually, here's a website where you can access your own fucking hormones. Don't worry about your parents. Don't worry about your doctor. Don't worry about your teacher. Go and do that. I can be critical of that without even thinking about what the policy prescription is going to be. You do not have to care about the fucking policy prescription, okay? Right? Because here's the other point as well. It's not guaranteed that a minor should be taking fucking hormones in the first place. If at all, right? As the fucking Cash Review has pretty aptly shown, there are other treatments that are possible and are available. And yes, there's issues in providing it if you want to, you know, sort that out, fine. But this idea that, well, no, if a fucking minor cannot get HRT in the normal fashion, they can just go and do it online instead, you know, egged on, pun intended, by some adult trans. I mean, dude, it's fucking ridiculous. Fucking hell, man.
Like I'd 100% agree with you, but my thing would just be.
But Nicholas, Briannu Wu has backed off the tweet and you know, done that because of public pressure. Okay, that's why Briannu Wu has done that.
I just disagree where the money should be spent, kind of deal, right? Like,
how do you mean?
I personally don't think, right, that you should allow them to alter their bodies in such a way. Right,
sure.
At that young age. But for example, I'm all for funding, you know, mental health specialists, stuff like that, or programs to help them cope with it in that way until they are older and they can, you know what I mean? That would be my approach. But again, I'm not a doctor, kind of deal. But
so a lot of people think that you can, like, to use your words, chop your off before you're 18, and that's just not true. Like, they will do things to stop it from, like, permanently screwing up your body.
Okay, this is like a bit of clever wordplay happening here, okay? I don't know the status on bottom surgery necessarily, okay? I'm going to go ahead and wager that there's probably people under 18 that have had it, okay? But even if you put it to one side for 1 second, there are you know, people under 18 that have got double mastectomies. That has just happened. That is a factual matter of record that has occurred. So Briannu Wu is focusing on this one aspect, right? When, oh God, it's like, I feel like I'm back in 2020 again and it's the same progressive bullshit. No one under 18 is getting this and that done. They are, though. There is irreversible surgery that is happening to people that are under 18 in America, at least. That is absolutely a thing that is happening. 100% that is happening.
But like the really big stuff, you do have to wait till you're of age.
Not true.
And
Not
I think
true.
People are just under a misimpression about that.
So I've got some general questions about this whole Keffals stuff. Firstly,
what?
I mean,
what's that one fucking question? I said, hang on a minute, that's not true. Oh my God. That's Beckett, isn't it? Wouldn't Beckett fucking know that shit? I thought Beckett was into all this fucking nonsense.
You said you gave money and you supported, while at the same time a lot of people were calling out Keffals' general actions, her actions towards Destiny. I mean, you seem to be on good terms.
Also, by the way, sorry, one other point as well on top of that. One of the doctors, I can't remember which organization they're involved in, but they've even admitted that puberty blockers, I think at Tanner stage 2, which is something to do, I mean, I'm not an expert in this, obviously. I think that's a stage of puberty. But I think if males are given puberty blockers at a too early a point, it can mean that they can never experience orgasm as they grow up and become an adult. So it can even a puberty blocker given at a certain time to males can also have a permanent effect. And that's alongside, you know, other aspects that aren't necessarily known about puberty blockers regarding bone density and strength and stuff like that. You know, there is a lot of uncertainty about other aspects of long-term impact.
Okay, that's
yes,
wonderful.
thank you,
But
Ali.
how do
Ali,
I
of
make
course, knows.
money?
Marcy Bowers, current president of
Chud is
WPATH.
confronted about
Yeah.
genocide on the streets. Watch out, trans. Chud is chasing, I mean coming for you.
So even the idea that puberty blockers are reversible 100% is still perpetuated, and it's just not correct. It's not true.
Homes with Destiny, how do you like equate those two things?
Well,
oh, here's Beckett in chat to sweep for himself. I was not aiming for a trans policy conversation. Oh, okay. That's okay. Listen, that is, dude. If someone is saying something that is just wrong, why do you not say, no, that's wrong? Actually, people under 18 do get surgery. Like, this is a well-known point at this stage, right? Surely.
One of the things I try to do here is not get involved in drama as much as I can. So, you know, look, I like Destiny a lot. I consider him a friend. I'm friends with a lot of the Orbiters, right? And it really seems to be like everybody has been telling me this whole time, like...
Do you know what this call needed? I'll tell you what this call needed. Okay? This call needed some Jewish energy. Let's put it like that, okay? Bit of Jewish energy, I think, could have been injected into this call.
Has some issues, right? And I've just tried to stay out of it as much as I can, you know, but there's some stuff here that clearly deserves an answer, and I hope we'll get that.
Do you like, I mean, have you seen like Tipster and his interactions with Keffals and stuff? I believe there were some DMs at some point. That got
I've seen them interact. I mean, I used to consider Tipster a friend before he started going after me on Twitter and calling me Anna Kasparian. So, you know, I kind of don't know where that relationship is right now.
I mean, you kind of watched him run this defense.
Over. I mean, that's pretty obviously over, no? I mean, it's pretty explicit at that point. Like, it seemed quite obvious that Keffals was coming out with an attack against Briannu Wu.
Wonderful.
Hey! Thanks for the $50.
Chase a sweeping broom.
I think that, yeah, that was a pretty transparent effort to attack Wu and then maybe take some energy off themselves or something, maybe? I don't fucking think, to be honest. But in any case, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. That is a backstab relationship over situation.
And like the DMs leaked in this that he was like, he'd have to think about defending Keffals over a rape allegation, or if Keffals actually raped somebody. Like, I mean, does that make you? But I mean, does that make you question at all, kind of like some of the people you've had previous interactions with on that side of the sphere? Because like this has been called for years,
100%.
and like,
you know,
okay.
I think like anyone that looks at my Twitter can see October 7th really opened my eyes up about a lot of stuff.
October 7th. Gay.
Stuff on the progressive side that I've just looked the other way on for a decade, right? And it's at a point where I can't do that.
Also, hang on a minute. I thought Brianna Wu has had this kind of moment of realization for longer than that now. Why is now October 7th? Is that to do with the J boys? Okay, come on, we've got to be careful, okay? Speaking of Jewish energy, I don't really understand why. Yeah, I thought it was much longer than that, because Brianna Wu has been critical of the progressives for like months and months before that.
Anymore. It's like I'm taking a blowtorch to my career and a lot of my friendships. But I'm not going to sit silent on a lot of this just crazy shit anymore. So yeah, and that includes things like this dynamic.
did you have any other like general go on, Matt?
People in chat are asking me what's your opinion on the whole Catboy Ranch Discord server thing?
So I want to be really honest with you. And so when I watched that video, most of what I was thinking about was the fact that Maya was quoted so closely with that. You know, Maya's a friend of mine. So I was just
God, it's like trying to catch jelly, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like listening to this. Just it's like a little subtle move here, a little subtle move there, you know? Get asked a direct question about something, slip this way, slip that way. Oh God, it is so fucking annoying.
listening to like Mutahar talk about that dynamic, I'm just thinking like, you don't know Maya at all. Like you're taking the stuff she's saying here at face value. And
okay, forget about the Maya stuff. What about the other shit? Okay, forget the Maya stuff. Put that to one side, even if you can't comment on that because you're friends with this person. What about all the other fucking shit to do with the Catboy Ranch stuff?
So dead seriously, and you don't know that she's just hilarious, like saying stupid shit. Like she's essentially a 4chan kid, even though she's a like political professional in the Democratic Party. So that was my main thought about that section, how hilarious it was to be taking what Maya was popping off with on Discord so serious.
So notice, we've gone from a very broad question and we've moved to discussing the nuances of one person that was mentioned in the entire segment about Catboy Ranch, when it was supposed to be broad to discuss the entire nature of it, but we're now hyper focused on this one aspect of it. I mean, so what? Like, you know, someone said in chat, you know, you could talk about the fact they were minors, so that's irrelevant, or you could even focus it on the fact that they apparently got given drugs that weren't even real. If you wanted to focus on that aspect of it, you know, you say that you know in some circumstances you support the DeOrio stuff, but yeah, this person received medicine that wasn't even effective, apparently. You know, whatever. But now we're like focused on this Maya character. Dude, it's so insufferable to listen to. Dude, what is this? Yo! True! So we've totally diverted away from the fundamental point that's being made, which is just to discuss broadly the Catboy Ranch stuff, to pivot away to talk about Maya, who you can either ask questions about anyway because, you know, they apparently didn't get the correct medicine that they should have done and they decided to knock it all on the head, the DRHT stuff, or you can talk about other people that were also discussed in that segment and just talk broadly about the idea of Catboy Ranch and how it did seem like there were inappropriate interactions with minors that were occurring.
Seriously.
Right. Okay. What's your opinion on? Oh, go ahead, Beavers.
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you. So I understand that not everybody's going to feel the same way. Sure. Blah 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 blah. But obviously, I'm not involved in the trans community whatsoever. Right? Outside
smart,
spectator.
Very smart.
Yes. The Mutahar video. Did you find that video transphobic?
Nope.
Like, no.
Nope.
So obviously everybody can feel differently, but I just wanted to find out for somebody that's, you know, more.
There's no feeling on that. There's no transphobia there, and there's some stuff I think he could have said a little bit more skillfully, but it's so around the edges that who gives a shit? Like real talk, like the trans community has got to grow the fuck up and put their big boy pants on or big girl pants on, and you know accept that.
It's like substitute. It's like. Yes, obvious. That's such an obviously it's not. Anyone is saying it's transphobic is fucking retarded. Okay. It's such a layup question. I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna. I can tell this is gonna annoy me from start to finish. Oh, dude. Oh, like wasn't Briannu Wu's tweet before coming on talking about how you must support policy before you criticize the DRY-HRT shit? Yeah, I might just skip this. I can't bear this. I might just skip ahead to... I mean, we've got a lot of stuff anyway to get to. When does Mutahar call in? I just cannot bear the idea of Briannu Wu just doing the snake shit. You know, the swerving around everything shit. 2148, okay. Let's have a listen to that.
Well, yeah, Muta just joined us, so I figured we'll just hand it over to him.
Hello.
I just kind of slipped in. I heard.
No, we had the door wide open.
Don't worry. Bro, look, I just got home this whole weekend. I'm out in like fucking Pennsylvania and shit, and I just managed to. I got home like I want to say like 30 minutes ago.
Right.
But yeah, so
here we
go. Been a wild weekend, you know.
Yeah,
like
I can imagine.
Transphobia. So. Yeah.
I really liked. I enjoyed your video, and I appreciate.
I will say, like, I read.
I enjoyed you. There it is. There it is. Make a positive comment initially in order to garner rapport with the person. It's like from a fucking textbook or something. It's like from a fucking textbook, bro.
Through messages that you sent me just now, and I kind of want to talk about like the DIY HRT stuff a little bit.
Sure.
Just to kind of like correct, or not just like sort of establish more. I want to say flesh out what my thinking is.
Go ahead.
I am somebody that is very much a live and let live kind of guy, right?
Sure.
My only problem with any of this kind of stuff is I talked to 3 medical practitioners primarily, and Dad, my wife. You know, they're all people that will say anything DIY, any type of medication, they don't recommend, right?
Sure. I don't recommend it either, 100%.
And my thing is always, so people kind of look at any video I make with the lens of U.S. politics, which is why I also bring the U.S. as I mentioned. But my view on this is very much from like a Canadian perspective, which isn't perfect, but it's certainly a lot better than some states in the United States for sure. So my thing is, look, as long as something is 100% safe, and I guess one of the things I probably should mention is like gender dysphoria, these things are real, valid, like fucking classifications. Any doctor will say that.
Sure.
I just wish that there was a system, and it's one thing I advocate for, is like, if you want this to be accepted and legal and no issues, then that's the only hurdle to cross. I don't think that until then, there should be any form of, or, you know, there shouldn't be the other extreme end that should be promoted, right? Like,
oh my God, no.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
Like we shouldn't be throwing the toaster oven in the fucking bathwater and like playing Risk. But I do think that there should be some middle ground. There should be some discussion. There should definitely be like a state agency or doctors getting together to do more research on this kind of stuff and coming to a, you know, thorough conclusion.
Sure.
I mean, we just had the cash review in the UK, you know? I feel like this is too generous to this idea that there needs to, like, all of this is fucking irrelevant. Like, that's another issue entirely, okay? What should the government fucking response to it be and all this shit, what the treatment should be? Fundamentally, you could be critical of minors being pushed towards fucking cryptocurrency-only lolicon fucking websites that have lolicon fucking anime promotion. Do you know what I mean, though? It's like, you can say that without any conversation about anything else. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to mention it. You can just say, I think it's totally wrong that minors are being pushed towards it. Because the other thing it misses as well is you're assuming that the minor definitely needs hormone replacement therapy, which just isn't true. That is not correct, right? Because if you're not going via the medical system, how do you know that a minor needs fucking HRD? You know, especially if you're in a very trans-positive environment where you've got all these trans people that are like pushing the egg cracking and shit like that, right? It's completely the wrong environment for these fucking troubled kids to go to get any advice or any information about what to do. Because all of them are going to be pushing one, not just like affirmation, like hyper affirmation, to the point where they're going to push them to the direction of websites where they can get their own fucking treatment. That's crazy. You don't need to talk about any policy to be against that, surely.
Mutahar, but this is a minor criticism, right? Like directionally, I don't have a problem with anything you said in the video.
Directionally, there it is. That's the meme, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're right. This is a U.S.-centric point of view that I'm giving to you. But it is, swear to God, political war on trans children right now. Even legally, through gender clinics, there's a massive operation to shut all of that down. And I want to be really clear. Like, I don't think the system is working very well. I think it needs to be overhauled. I think the safeguard.
So again, we're focused on something like we're diverting focus away to this question of trans kid healthcare in the US. It's like a political pivot. Yeah, exactly. What does that matter? Like, we're so far away from what the point is supposed to be at this stage, okay? Because, you know, the whole point is that Keffals promoted a website that allowed minors through cryptocurrency to purchase homemade medicine with lolly, shotacon, whatever packaging. Right? Okay? That is what the video is about. That is what we're talking about here. That's the key point, right? That's wrong, isn't it? That's the thing that's wrong. That's the thing that we're fucking concerned about, right? You can go and have your conversation about policy. You can go and talk about doing this, that, and the other, whatever you want to fucking do, okay? But I just don't think it's any relevance to just issuing out a simple criticism of what the video was about, which was pointing out this issue, right? To the point where you've got that Bob posting person who was an ally of Keffals. Yeah, packaging that says, keep this away from children. Fucking, what was that Bob posting person, that associate of Keffals, you know, that Keffals was giving money to sponsor the fucking website, was talking about pink pilling minors. Keffals tweeting out, I'm going to trans your kids. This is just easily condemnable stuff. And you don't need to have any conversations about any politics in order to make it, because it's that fucking boom, done. End of conversation. But instead, this is getting pivoted into some broader political point about don't care. This is it. Literally don't care. Literally don't care about any of that. That wasn't what the video was about. It was pointing out very clear, condemnable things that Keffals has done, and that's it. Boom. Simple.
Parts that are in place are not functioning very well. I was really astonished with one study that showed only 79% of people going to gender clinics and getting HRT meet the WPATH standard, which blew my mind. So, like, it's clear something's got to change, but I just felt like there's this context in your video that you're criticizing DIY. And I think from the trans community's point of view, it's like, the Democratic Party is not making like trans healthcare.
Okay, here's the thing, right? This is what's so annoying about this. Okay, if it was just adults, okay, if it was just 100% adults that were doing this DIY HRT thing, okay, you would get some like rightoids talking about it, right? But the fact that Keffals tweeted out about transing your kids, and the fact that fucking Bob posting was talking about pink pilling minors. There's your problem right there, right? Your fucking activists, you know, ones that fucking Wu has promoted in the past, okay, they have made it about kids. They have made it about children. They fucked themselves over by making it about kids. So now, yes, that's where we're on the conversation, okay? And if they didn't want this shit to happen, maybe they shouldn't have been fucking groomers. I said it. I fucking said it, okay? Chat was telling me to say it, so I said it, all right? There we go. Boom.
Access a really big priority, right? It's under attack by the Republicans. So I think trans people are going, yeah, what? Legal help to
It's like they want to just do the jokes, don't they? Oh, yeah, I'm pink pilling minors. Oh, but it's just a joke. And then when people turn around and go, hang on a fucking minute. Why are you getting kids involved in this? This is insane. You shouldn't be doing that, right? Oh, well, you know, the problem is, you know, we've got all these issues and concerns about stuff like that. Okay. Go and have that conversation then, but you're never going to convince me in a million years that the response to that, that the way we deal with that, is we allow people like Bob posting to talk about pink pilling minors, that we allow Keffals to tweet out jokes about how they're going to trans your kids. There's no way. It's not fucking happening. I'm never, ever going to get on board with that ever, okay, as an alternative, right? Like, the only possible thing that you could have in place that I would maybe look the other way from, but would still probably advocate the government to take down, would be, you know, if an adult-only thing or something, you know, like a drug dealer or something like. I don't care about someone going and buying fucking heroin if they want to do that, okay? I think the government should shut down the drug dealer if they get the opportunity to. But if an adult is choosing of their own accord to go and do drugs, that's their fucking lookout, okay? If a fucking adult decides to go and inject a bunch of fucking estrogen into their fucking asshole to give themselves tits, I don't fuck it, whatever. Do you, okay? But I still think the government should take action to shut down stuff that's outside of the normal pharmaceutical process, okay? It's the kids, always with this, the kids that are the issue. And even if you want to argue this trans kid shit, the people that were pushing it and promoting it were not in any place to do it because they were making it a joke about how they were transing kids and pink pilling minors and shit like that, okay? Totally and utterly, like, indefensible shit. Right? There we go. That's it. That is what it is. They've made their own bed by making it about kids, and now they've got to fucking lie in it and accept that people are going to say the shit they're going to say about it, right?
Get all this stuff is
Fucking
not
hell,
here.
man.
We're going to have to turn to illegal stuff. And that's just the context I thought was missing from your video, which I think is a pretty nuanced, like, criticism.
I mean, I can see that angle of it for sure. It's just, honestly, it is tough from any perspective to, like, sort of bring the DIY. It's hard to like, I guess, sort of watch that for. Because here's look, I have brought the reason why this video also took really long to make is I've kind of been like testing I've been focus testing with the people in my life, friends, family, whatever, and I brought up this idea. And never has it's always, sort of brought fear, especially amongst like, new parents and everything too.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, how do you bring this kind of topic up and how do you introduce it? Like, and then you get into other extrapolations, like, hey, if we allow this, what about tattoos?
I feel like Mutahar is letting it slip way too far away. He's on good ground to defend his video to say, I don't really care about any of that. That's not what I was there to discuss. I don't know about the intricacies of fucking trans healthcare or whatever. That's not what I'm there to discuss. Keffals said this, transing your kids. Bob Posting said this, someone that Keffals worked with to sponsor the DIY website, pink pilling minors. What do you think of that? Boom, there we go. You've got good ground to stand on. But instead we're kind of slithering away to this bullshit nonsense policy discussion when it's not even what the video was fucking about, okay? And in fact, I'm pretty sure that Mutahar's entire point was about the minor stuff. I don't even know. Like, I think he made a brief comment about the adult trans shit, but I think his main point was about how crazy it was that the minors were getting targeted, the fact that it had this weird, insane groomer tier fucking marketing with a show to shit or whatever. Oh, dude, it's so annoying. Apparently Nicholas joins and it gets better. We'll see.
Whatever, like, it's such a massive like minefield. So it's like, for me, and look, the trans people that I've talked to and before making this video, one of them was Cherry, who I used some of her messages in it. The whole discussion was, look, when you're under the age of like 18 or something, right? When you're like fucking, I guess, a kid, you eventually go through a change in your body that can't be reversed. And if you never wanted to have that change to begin with, well, now you're just fucking stuck in some way. So it is such a minefield quagmire thing that trying to have a healthy discussion about it, which is not, again, the central focus point of it. My whole focus point was, hey, listen, if you're going to get on Discord and start introducing this kind of stuff, I really feel like parents, governmental agencies, every party should be involved. And look, I know the 100%. World isn't perfect, right? Like, if you brought this stuff up to like a family in like, conservative land who...
God, it's so irritating because it's like Mutahar's got such strong ground to defend his video, but he's kind of like meandering around it. And, I'm not even on the call calling him a retard this time, for fuck's sake. So it just feels like it's way too fucking generous to the other side of the argument when it's not even about that. You've let the conversation become about this issue when it's not about this issue. It's very fucking simple, okay? It's such a simple point that Mutahar's video was making, and we've lost in the source now.
They would never even want to hear the LGBT stuff coming out of their kids. That's a risky subject, but it's still not something. It's such a legal it's such a weird situation, and every single aspect of talking about this involves so many different parties that I don't know. I never. I
fully agree with you.
They've been wooed.
Let's be really clear. For a lot of trans,
I know it well.
Their message to those parents with good faith questions is shut the fuck up, right? That's not a political answer. That is we've
wonderful.
Tried to do
but
that for a long time, and parents don't like
people?
that. It's
Can someone explain to what October 7th is? Oh, that was the date of the Hamas terrorist attack against Israel.
really normal for parents to have questions like, is this a phase that my child is going to grow out of? What are the effects of this going to be? And I think the trans community's tendency to frame this like you either give your child HRT and let them transition or they're going to commit suicide. Well, that's not, it's a lot more complicated.
Dude, I tell you what else we need in here. Where's Keemstar, okay? Listen, Keemstar for his faults, I don't think we put... When does he fucking join? Get Keemstar in here too, okay? We need some actual fucking transphobes up in this bitch.
Than that. So I want a far more sophisticated public policy conversation with every single part of this.
Okay,
and
I don't know, okay. You might want that, go and have that then. Fuck off and go and have that. We don't all have to have an in-depth conversation about this, right? you know, and this is speaking as someone, I'm not an expert on this, but I've looked at the cast review and I've looked at some of this stuff on stream because I find it personally interesting, right? But, you know, you don't even need to mention any of that when you're making the very simple point that it is wrong for these Discord groomers to get into these young people's lives and promote the idea that they should be taking fucking HRT from a cryptocurrency website with the shitty marketing, like I just said. Oh my God, this is so annoying to listen to.
And the extremes on both sides are making it absolutely impossible. Go look at my Twitter. Like yesterday I had...
I don't understand why you're... Okay, we're getting the Mutahar retard defenders in again. Oh, you people are so fun. I have barely said anything about the guy, and you're upset about the fact that I'm just making a comment that he's being way too fucking generous. Yes, I think his video's great. I think he's done a great job. Okay? It doesn't mean that I can't listen to a call and go, ooh, I'm not really sure about this. Okay? Which is basically what I've done. I've not even called him a retard yet. Okay? God, you people are fucking insufferable. You cannot bear or withstand even a minor negative comment towards your favorite fucking content creator. It is fucking insufferable. Fuck off! Leave! Stop watching me, freak!
Perf screaming at me all day and trans activists screaming at me all day.
I just said what Mutahar should have said. He should have said, that's irrelevant to the point I'm trying to make. My focus was very clear. These are the things I was concerned about. What do you think about those? Boom. Okay?
For saying, I think we should talk about gender-neutral bathrooms less and universal health care more. So I hear what you're saying there.
You're being a bitch over literature. Am I being a bitch? What do you mean? You can't stand it, can you? You're sat there seething because I've made a minor comment about content creator that you like.
It's just wonderful. This is a political reality that there are a lot of really desperate trans kids out there. They're going, oh my God, if I don't get HRT, I am not going to be able to pass and my life is going to be much harder. That is a very, very reasonable fear. And in the same way we need to have an answer for parents, I think we need an answer for those kids, and it's going to be a lot of work.
I think that's something that
Muta's wife was saying the same thing as you. Yeah, Muta's wife is based on this topic, it seems. Dojangles. What did they say? I saw their tweet about it, I think. Oh, okay, I can't seem to find it. Oh, yeah, here we go. But Keffals been the primary focus. I showed her to talk about trans healthcare policy for minors. Why? It's a fucking drama podcast. We don't care about your fucking... I came here to have a conversation totally unrelated to the topic and unrelated to the, you know, the nature of the show, actually. Why? Go to your fucking policy shit for that or whatever. Of course it's going to be about fucking Keffals, because that's the point. She's getting enough heat. She didn't get enough heat from her enablers for far too long. You woke up this morning and saw how you looked ridiculous last night saying that's fair but whenever you asked about specifics. Yes, true. Muta's video was about Keffals and you wanted to shift it into something it wasn't instead of conceding to her being a bad person. Yes. Right? Is it better now because it's coming from Dojangles rather than me? That's exactly, I mean, you know, and the thing is like, it is because people take a certain tact in the call. You know, that's why it goes this way. Yeah, I don't know. I'll never criticize anyone ever again. What's this? Wait, on that point quickly, what about anti-Indian slurs? Would you be up for that as well?
Dude, the internet fucking hates Indians anyways, okay? Like, I call myself a street shitter, so fucking go ahead.
Okay, you know what was really funny? Oh, here's fucking counterpoint. You are such a wretched little fucking freak. Every single time Briannu Wu is mentioned, you appear to sweep for your fucking mistress, okay? What is your fucking problem, bro?
everyone can agree on, and I'm glad that we brought up the extremes on every angle because it makes talking about such a contentious issue that much more difficult. I think like one of the things that I said was like, hey, listen, a lot of the arguments, especially when it came around like sports stuff, right? Like we're taking a fringe issue out of a fringe issue, and we're bringing that into the center table. Like no one's going to win in that department, right? Like, so I don't know. There's a lot of things that I guess. I don't know. That's where my mind sort of stands.
Connor, you've already demonstrated that you're totally politically compromised on this, okay? You swept for Vosh, you gave me fucking all this insane grief for my not strong enough lolly take, and then totally fucking swept for Vosh! You're politically compromised on this, and we know it!
That's where I come out into. And, you know, I think the weird part is, like, any form of, I guess, discussion about this, it's like if you're not 100% with the most extreme left or right end, it's like you either get painted as like an extreme transphobe and whatnot. Like, look, here's my personal belief, right? Like, I might like I saw
Chud dodging. What am I dodging exactly? What was the question? I can't even find it now. Weren't you just ranting about the Cass report and how Brianna is wrong to advocate for this against the change of Okay, I made it very clear that I have spoken about the Cass review, and I've done it on streams because it's of personal interest to me. But on this topic, the conversation isn't about the broader issues of trans healthcare for minors, okay? It is a very specific criticism that is made in the video, but for some reason we're now entertaining a discussion that's much broader when it's nothing to do with that necessarily. It's all about Keffals and Keffals doing stuff that's bad, okay? And condemnable. Easily fucking condemnable, right? We don't need to talk about any other fucking aspect of this beyond Keffals is bad because they did these things. That's it. End of fucking conversation, right? This is not a fucking Policy Institute channel. This is a fucking Spurg drama channel, and that's what we're fucking here for.
I read today that I said I had traditional beliefs, so people thought that I was like a fucking really crap, super conservative guy. My traditional beliefs are, me and my wife, we grew up, you know, with a traditional family. We have like gender norms and whatnot. Like we have roles and shit. That's my traditional stuff, you know?
Sure.
I'm the fucking breadwinner for the family. You know, she works too, but...
Is there a stream where Briannu Wu has been mentioned that Counterpoints hasn't showed up to? Does anyone know?
You know, we have a mom-dad kind of role thing going on, and that's how we were raised. We turned out fine, so we try to emulate what worked out fine for us. And then today I also read, like, she said that, because she's very much like obviously the medical practitioner, she's like, I'm not going to support that Otokonoko Pharmaceuticals like
no, of course not.
DIY.
Of course you shouldn't support that. Of course not.
I prefer other forms of therapy, and I was reading on like this insane Reddit board. It's like fucking does she promote conversion therapy? And it's insane because like she's from the state of California. That shit has been outlawed since fucking 2013. For months. That is very much not
okay. Now we're back on track, I think.
Right? Like we have, you know, gay people in our family that would be very much against that. So it's one of those things where it's like,
this is what's so hard about the conversation right now is it is impossible for anyone to have a moderate position on anything trans. You know, I'm 46.
So okay, but we're not. None of this is about a moderate position on trans stuff. Mutahar has got a moderate position on trans stuff. Okay. This is about Keffals saying stuff that's crazy and Mutahar pointing out on the video and it being, damn, that's insane. I can't believe Keffals said all that shit.
I am old enough to remember that when you transitioned, these were the steps. You had to go to a therapist and get 3 months of therapy. If they decided you met the DSM criteria, then you could start on hormones. Right. Then if you got on hormones with a therapist letter, by the way, and then you went and lived for a year in the gender you identified with, then you could go get 2 letters from 2 other psychologists and a psychiatrist.
What is this? Has got... This is like nothing to do with any of the top, like this is like totally. No one cares. Why is this being entertained? Dude, no one fucking cares about this shit. No one cares about your letters, okay? Let's get back to the matter at hand of just an easy, simple condemnation of Keffals, okay? And that's it. Boom. Then go off and have your little policy conversations on another stream or something.
That would show that you're mentally fit, and then at that point you could go get GRS, which is gender change surgery, right? That was a radical thing within my lifetime. I'm talking about the 90s, right? And today, that system has changed a lot where you can literally skip all that therapy, go to Planned Parenthood and get HRT with what they call informed consent. There are really good arguments for informed consent, but there are also really good arguments for the way it used to be. And the problem is it's so heightened emotionally on both sides. We can't have a public policy discussion in the middle based on science to come to better outcomes for all involved.
Here's the thing, okay? Here's the problem. Any attempts at moderation is just met with complete and utter, like, dismissal, okay? Like, if you question, like, for too long now, if you've questioned any aspect of this, you are seen as a virulent transphobe. I'm just engaging with it because I'm bored of fucking pointing out how it's deflecting. And it's just pure deflection. None of this is to do with the video or merit hand, right? But just to engage at this point a bit, because what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, any reasonable position that someone might have is considered not enough for the trans positive movement, you know? The TRAs, as they're called. I mean, they won't even come to the table to have a conversation about it, you know? They won't even come to the table to talk about it. Obviously, there's, you know, extremists all over the place.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed
But
people?
yeah, I mean, if you can't even have a conversation. Hey, thank you for the $5. I agree. More super chats. Let's go. Thank you.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money
Paez,
off
thank you for the
depressed people?
$2. But yeah, I just, you know, it's like, of course, like it's impossible to have a moderate position because it gets dismissed, you know. Obviously, it's going to depend where you're coming from, but I feel like it's the TRAs that tend to be very dismissive of any sort of reasonable conversation or discussion about it, you know? And some of these TRA types are like violent and shit. Okay, I did. Okay, just guys, any recommendations for any trans positive accounts? I will take them, okay? Because, I tell you what, I've seen some stuff. But yeah, I mean, you see, like, there's this conversation that talks about, what is it, J.K. Rowling, right?
Welcome to Chud Nation.
And it's like, why isn't J.K. Rowling nicer? And yeah, sure, J.K. Rowling can definitely be shitty sometimes in the stuff she says. But, like, I feel like there's often ignorance of just how insane some of the TRA shit is, where you've got, like, signs that say, you know, do various types of violence to TERFs and shit like that. Right? I don't know that, like, it's easy to go, oh, I disavow that and shit like that. But there's been this kind of insane escalation where, you know, there are some, and bear in mind, the radical feminist shit, where it was like, you know, the anti-trans radical feminist stuff, this goes back decades. And back when transsexuals were transsexuals, it was more of a reasoned conversation that you could have about it. But as we've moved further forward and we've changed what trans means to anyone that identifies as X, Y, and Z, you know, it's moved to be so fractious now. And what is being asked for from the trans side,
okay, that's wonderful.
is
but how do I make
insane.
money
It's like this
off
insane. Thank you very much for the 20 sec. It's this insane principle of, well, if I like looking like me, if I identified as a woman, oh, nearly got the wrong way around. If I identified as a woman, I'd be able to like walk into a fucking toilet and use a toilet, and there's no question that I should be able to do that, you know?
Discussion is serving.
I don't want to speak to Counterpoints, okay? Counterpoints is a politically compromised retard on this issue, and I'm not interested in talking to him. But good luck.
No one. The trans community is losing rights at a blistering rate. It has gotten better and better and better since Christine Jorgensen in the 60s. And just in the last decades, it's just like an iceberg evaporating into the ocean. All these
Brianna,
rights in the entire system. Yeah.
If I could I ask you a question?
Please.
So you've been a supporter of Keffals for a very long time. I've seen you supporting her entire career.
Sure.
How come you
No, I've shown the Counterpoints plenty of times, and it's always the same thing with him. He comes in and he does his fucking sweeping, and it's irritating, and that's it, okay? I don't mind speaking to Counterpoints. I'll happily speak to him in the future about other stuff. But, I mean, he's just way too compromised on this, and he's demonstrated it time and time again.
If I could I ask you a question?
Please.
So you've been a supporter of Keffals for a very long time. I've seen you supporting her entire career.
Sure.
How come you haven't noticed the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting? How come you haven't noticed this stuff on your end?
Yes, this is exactly what was needed. Thank you, Keemstar, for coming in. Yes.
I don't want to, like, I didn't want to come on stream today and, like, start a public beef with Keffals. She's dealing with enough with this video that's coming out. I think she
You see how that little bit of pressure gives us a little bit there, you know? Gives us a little bit. I'll speak to Counterpoints another day, okay? I'll arrange to speak to Counterpoints. We can have a conversation. I'm not saying I'll never speak to him about this, but I'm not speaking to him today about this. He's too fucking compromised, okay? And he's a little fucking worm sometimes when he comes on and talks about this stuff. But another day, if he wants to talk about it and he wants to fucking come and sweep for Wu or whatever, we can do that, okay?
You should answer Mutahar.
Dude, does this not show what happens with just a little bit of pressure and the goods it can bring?
So you've been a supporter of Keffals for a very long time. I've seen you supporting her entire career.
Sure.
How come you haven't noticed the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting? How come you haven't noticed this stuff on your end?
I don't want to, like, I didn't want to come on stream today and, like, start a public beef with Keffals. She's dealing with enough with this video that's coming out. I think she should answer Mutahar your video. She should hit it head on, address those criticisms. I will say that I see
I'm
people.
not growing at you. I'm growing at Keem. My bad.
My thing with her, my thing with any criticism.
Nicholas, no. Okay, I think Nicholas should let Keemstar off the leash a little bit here. Honestly,
To my video, and before I like even get into it, like I don't really foresee any logical response you could make to counter any of the points I made in the video.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna sweep for my lad Nicholas now. I think Nicholas's concern, you know, which is wrong. I don't think he should have done this, to be clear. But I think his concern is that Keemstar is going to chase Briannu Wu off and you're going to lose the content. I think that's why he did that. But I fully support Keemstar going absolutely fucking nuclear and just going insane. Okay?
Because a lot of it, like, it just required so much research. It is, I didn't make this video to make somebody look bad. It's just what they've done is actually terrible behavior.
Sure.
I do believe the only salient response that she can provide and give is to probably refund that money or put it towards actual transgender causes, because one of the points in the video was like, hey, listen, this is already a community that lives in poverty. I mean, I have seen people who have been in the LGBT community who gets kicked out of their homes. They're effectively homeless, right? And, you know, if you live in like a city like Toronto, right, which is like fucking LA, New York levels of prices, these are people that effectively go homeless because of, you know, whatever that they've been born with, right? Like, and people can have a discussion or whatever all the time about what is valid and what isn't, but like, this is a community that is already like fucking living. A lot of people live in abject poverty. You know, most people, you know, in this community, look, you either find like some of the richest, most educated gay people, like that are making good money, right? Like my brother-in-law works for a fucking good firm, educated from a great place.
Russ Cole, thank you for the $5. Hippo character with stars growing in his eyes, pumping his arms in the air with the word hype pulsating above him. Thank you for the $5 super sticker.
One extreme end or the other. There's never like an in-between. Families are like either they can set you for success or they can fucking ruin you.
The thing is, beyond anything else, why is Brianna like not
okay, that's wonderful.
Just
but
going
how do
off?
I make money off depressed people?
At this stage, yeah, surely it's over. Keffals fucking took a swing. Thank you for the $2. Xylee comes in with some more questions based.
Right? You get kicked out of your house at 16, not a lot of options. So in that community, that needs to be reimbursed for them, right? That's, or at least some form of transparency. And the other thing is, it's like what the behavior that she has showcased is exactly the kind of behavior you hear about on fucking Twitter. I guess a lot of these right-wing circles about like, hey, groomer behavior, so that needs to be fucking rectified. That needs to be like properly discussed because it makes the whole community look so bad. And the people that I've talked to, look, most of them just want to live.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the whole point was. The whole point was about exactly what, you know, it's the grooming thing. Like, oh, the right are calling us groomers. The right are calling us groomers, and I don't understand why. Trans your kid, pink pill minors, crack your egg, DIY HRT, cryptocurrency website. Don't tell your parents. Like, dude, you're doing everything fucking possible to validate that fucking point that they make. Pink pill, pink pill, pink pill, pink pill, pink pill, pink pill. Oh, what are you, 16? Can't get your parents to get you HRT? Don't worry. Otakanoto Pharmaceuticals or Vanna Pharma's got you covered. All you need is a cryptocurrency account. Oh, don't know how cryptocurrency works? Don't worry. I'll help you get it set up so you can get your fucking off-market HRT without your parents knowing. Right, am I crazy here? Like, bro, this is so fucking obvious to me.
That's my issue. No. Why isn't there self-policing in this community? Like,
I completely agree.
Brianna Wu, like, you've seen all this stuff firsthand. I'm not understanding why it takes Mutahar to go and make the video. Mutahar's not watching every Keffals stream, not paying attention.
Real
quick, the stream died. Real quick, the stream died. Just so you know. Sorry.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
No.
Be back in a minute.
We're good.
Okay, I have to push back on that because I do know Keffals. I don't think she sits there and actively thinks she's better than everyone. And in fact, I think a lot of people really misunderstand Keffals. I genuinely do. Keffals.
Still sweeping for Keffals. Still sweeping for Keffals. What did you say, Nicholas? That was good. Nicholas is claiming that was the time that he was based, so we've missed it, unfortunately.
Is traumatized from the things that have happened to her in the last
literally don't care. Listen, I think that Keffals is probably fucked in the head, yes, but that doesn't mean that you can't be diligently critical of the behavior because of how crazy it is. People have got shit going on. People are traumatized. Fucked up stuff happens to people. Not everyone is out there fucking embezzling 100K from their audience, bro. The sweeping is unbelievable still at this stage.
She's not faking that, okay?
But it's hard to believe
hold
that.
On. I want to finish what I'm saying. And
oh God,
it causes her to make decisions that a lot of people around her are encouraging her to make different decisions, okay? And
so now it's everyone. Now it's people around Keffals that are the problem, apparently, right? Okay. Got it. Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is people might say, oh, but, Brianna woke up the next day and said this, that, and the other. Yes, because of public opinion being so against them. Okay, that's why. That's why the change happened. Because, oh shit, this didn't go down very well. Everyone fucking, it's like, on the call is when these concessions should be being fucking made and you should be accounting for this, right? Taking the L. Keemstar's based in this call. Keemstar's based so far. I'm going to give Nicholas a chance, though, because obviously he's my lad, and I reckon he's going to come good, but we'll see.
And I'm going to be honest, I see a lot of myself
He potentially stole a lot of money.
Yes, thank you.
He potentially stole a lot of money.
Yes, please. Thank you, fucking Keemstar.
When I...
Wait,
come on. She potentially stole a lot of money.
Please.
When I...
I don't know if Nicholas is trying to get a word in or trying to hold Keemstar back. Let Keemstar off the leash, okay? Unleash Keemstar.
I think I was 22. I found myself in rehab in the exact same way Keffals did.
Personal story to pivot away from the matter at hand to garner sympathy. God, it's just so...
And poly addiction. I was a mess. And I think all the time, what if for that period of my life, social media had been around or I had been a YouTube star? Holy crap. I mean, I'm not justifying everything that she's done. I'm saying it is context. She's not lying about being traumatized by what happened with the police show.
Literally, it's irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant how real the trauma is. It's an irrelevant matter, okay? You could maybe argue that if someone is traumatized, you could maybe understand something they do. Maybe if you want to... But that doesn't matter. You're picking at hairs there. The point is not about whether or not Keffals' trauma is real. It's the fact that Keffals embezzled money. How does this... Oh, sorry, guys. I embezzled a bunch of funds from my company's finances. My company's charity fund, I went and spent it on a bunch of drugs. But I was feeling a bit traumatized at the time, so hopefully I'll... No! You don't get to wriggle away from accountability because you were feeling bad at the time, And I agree that Keffals is probably fucked in the head for numerous different reasons. But that doesn't mean that you you give any credence to the idea that this isn't like a behavior that you just criticize the behavior. That's simple as that. The behavior is unacceptable and terrible and it shouldn't have happened. And there should be accountability. Boom. There we go. Done.
Going up to her house. That really hurt her.
No, but she is lying about the money.
Yes.
And that's a really big deal.
And she did lie about the cops.
No,
she lied about certain aspects of the cops.
Here's the thing. I definitely can agree. This is where I'm going to like push back here. I've said this. She's probably on drugs, right? Like whatever fucking coke, meth, benzos, whatever the hell it is. I can understand somebody being addicted to drugs and being in a really dark place, right?
Sure.
And there have been places where I've been that have not been the best, okay? The last 10 years, there have been periods in my life where I've had severe downs. But that I never can think is an actual excuse for financial mismanagement of this degree. And again, even if somebody is going through a lot of drug stuff too, that doesn't excuse.
You know, there's like everyone has a time in their life where they do something wrong, right? And not to the level that we're talking about, you know, embezzling potentially up to like 100K of people's money that you said was going into a legal, well, 80K of it I think was supposed to be going into a legal fund. But anyway. But you have like an account for it normally, right? Like, I don't know, like who here stole it from their job? Right? Yes, when I was younger. Yes. You're stupid, you're young, you do something retarded. And the accountability is that you like lose your job. Although I didn't get caught, to be honest. I used to work for a, it was like, do you guys know what fucking indexes or Argos? It's a bit like Amazon, but in a shop.
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
You know how many shell-shocked veterans get pinched for drug
That's a terrible example, actually.
The courts don't have a trauma defense. # tips to news.
But let's say you stole from your work and you did get caught, right? You can't just go, oh, I was traumatized. Forgive me. You know, you're going to get fucking consequence for that, you know? I was like fucking 16, okay? Fucking, that was like 20 years ago now. Give me a fucking break, will you? But if you get caught and you're going to be getting in trouble for that, you can't just argue your trauma. It's like there's some consequence for the action. And the consequence should be matched to the severity of what the action is, you know? Particularly if there needs to be a remuneration or some sort of balancing of the books because you've, you know, taken a bunch of money from people that you use for things you didn't say you were going to use it for. Well, I mean, the thing is like, you know, now if I did something like that, if I set up a GoFundMe and said, I need 10K for cancer treatment or something, right? Cancer treatment that's not on the NHS because I'm in the UK. And then it transpired that I didn't need cancer treatment and I bought myself, I don't know, a big fuck off computer or something. Using 16 as an excuse. Well, no, I'm just saying that I was young and stupid when I did it. But like, if I'd have got caught, I wouldn't have been able to argue at the time that I had trauma or something, you know? I would have been probably lost my job there and then. You had an ethnic roommate. How do you know about that? I've spoken about that before. About the black guy that I used to live with. I used to live with a black guy, and he used to cook like a whole chicken in a pot. It was really weird. I'd walk in and be cooking this big chicken, stood there in a fucking white towel. Very odd. And then there was another time where I walked in and his mates were there, and it was like, I don't know, it's just a bunch of black guys hanging out together in the it was a little kitchen area. It wasn't really like, you know, it was like you had your own room and you had a shared kitchen area, and that was it really. But yeah, walking in there and there's all these black fellas standing around, and that's right, cooking a big old chicken in a pot. Correct. It was fine. There was no problem. There was no big issue. But there were things that were annoying about living with him. For one thing, no, come on. No, it's the fact that he used to like just leave the chicken there. And obviously, in, you know, where I'm from, it's like you clean the pot up when you're done with it type thing, you know? But he used to just leave his chicken there. And, you know, the chicken corpse or whatever. A bit weird. But anyway, yeah. Listen, all I'm trying to point out is that we've all done stuff where we look back and regret, right? We've all done something that's wrong, bad, whatever it is. I think obviously it was a bad example because I didn't actually get caught. But the point I'm making is, if you get caught out doing something bad, particularly if it's to the level that Keffals has done, you should expect some consequence for that, even if there's mitigating factors as to why you engaged in that behavior, right? And you know, yeah, that's it really.
Terrible behavior, interaction, and outright lying about interacting with certain communities. You know, running some of these Discord servers. Like people have said that mischaracterizations. Anybody that hasn't watched my video said like, "Hey, listen, the way that you portrayed her as like groom." I never said she was groom. I said
became a member.
Thank you for the membership. Appreciate it. The gift of memberships. Thank you, Russ Cole. Thanks for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it.
Interactions with a minor using the Catboy Ranch Discord server, Twitter account, or whatever. Those were signs. Those were not good things to do. Any other person in that situation would be fucking thrown under the bus.
Yes.
And these are things that are ultimately net negatives. These are things that shouldn't have happened. Yes, people can go through terrible, rough times, but we've got to look past a lot of the rough times that she's had, because there is no salient excuse for some of the serious financial mismanagement, and of course some of the outright like lies and mischaracterizations and the way she's acted in general over the last 2-3 years.
So I want to respond to that. Hold on.
Just one line. You basically said, Brianna, she was in a dark place. That's what you said. But go ahead.
Yo, Keystall, let's go.
I hear what you're saying, Mutahar. I think what you're saying is dead on and it's fair. I think there are 2 roles here. You are critiquing Keffals, the public figure, and her public actions about what she did.
Oh my god. Oh, God, it's so annoying to listen to, dude.
With public money. God bless. Like, your video had some very salient criticisms. I think I really welcome that kind of scrutiny being brought to this stuff, and I think it was entirely appropriate. What I would ask y'all to understand is, I've been on Keffals' stream, once? Like 90% of my interactions with her are as a friend of someone who has gone through something kind of similar. And that's my dynamic with her. So does that make sense to you? It's just, I feel like I have a different role.
Okay. Listen, I do understand. I do get, like, you can understand when, on the face of it, particularly with the press and stuff, I was a bit taken in by the idea that there was all this terrible stuff happening, you know? So, you know, I definitely take an L on, in the early days, going too easy on Keffals in some of the thumbnails and stuff. Probably would have gone harder in hindsight. But, like, I just think that it's like, it's the last possible moment that someone could surely come out. Do you know what I mean? It's like 2024, years after this has all gone down, you know, like, the fact that there's still resistance to just being directly explicitly critical of Keffals is crazy on this call. Well, I think the thing is that Brianna is trying to do this thing of like, oh, you know, I'm coming across, you know, I'm trying to be a friend, I'm trying to do something else. It's like, well, that's fucking done with, you know? Like, at what point do you say, yeah, this friend I've got is fucking insane and has done crazy bad stuff that I should just be critical of, you know? Particularly if they're dishonest about it and they lie about it a lot. Like, it's too late in the day for this, oh, I went on as a friend shit, you know? Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it.
Was she traumatized when she talked to the kids like she did on Twitter?
We've already talked about
wait. Ziley coming in swinging. Let's go.
Yeah, but was she traumatized then? Because that happened before the cops.
We've already talked about this. I don't defend that.
I listen, I understand what you're saying, that you had like tough times too, and I'm glad you got through them. But if you made a decision like Keffals had made to basically scam $100,000 on GoFundMe. Like, you're talking, this is a person who says they're in danger and they bought IRL streaming equipment to go to a place where Kiwi Farms had a bomb threat.
Sure.
Okay, this is like beyond, like, you have to understand.
And the other thing is too, sorry Nick to cut you off, if you are under risk.
No,
right?
let Nicholas speak more. Nicholas is about to fucking listen. I am a Nick sweeper, okay? That's a fact. But I feel that was quite a good line between, you know, the middle ground, right? You've got like, you know, Mutahar's being quite soft. You got Keemstar going quite hard. I think Nicholas was ready to just whoosh, come in there with the middle ground and really get to the heart of the matter. Yeah, Nick was about to cook, definitely.
Right? And you feel that your life is in danger. Going to places like Twitch San Diego and putting the lives of other people in danger is also never a good thing to do. I mean, this is somebody who at the time was, I guess, one of the most polarizing figures to go to like a massive event where, you know, I guess bad things could have happened. That is not like that. These are exact signs of somebody that knows they're in a far better situation than they're letting on in the public sphere.
She has a whole career of lying, a whole career of lying and just manipulating her audience over and over and over again. I mean, you can't support someone like that.
You're not wrong, but what I think about is all the mistakes I made during Gamergate. And, you know, it has taken me a long time to come back and basically...
Like, more self-victimization shit from Wu here. I mean, I just don't care about the Gamergate shit. You know, this feels like a PR thing, like talking about Gamergate to try and spin some of the PR from the Gamergate shit. You know, none of this matters because what we're actually talking about here is it doesn't matter what trauma Keffals has got. It's got nothing to do with any of this. You know, this is a more PR spin shit that's happening now. When all that matters here is Keffals scammed 100K from an audience. And that's it. End of conversation. Let's talk about that, you know?
Fix my reputation from that. I was traumatized. The death threats did get to me. I made decision after decision after decision that was incredibly stupid. And I can see that now because I'm past that trauma and I worked with a therapist to get past it. I know what it's like to be in the middle of that and to make bad decisions. So
okay. Bad decisions is doing a lot of work there, okay? Because we're not just talking about a bad decision. We're talking about, you know, what could potentially be a crime. I mean, is that too much to say? Like, could this not potentially be a fucking crime? No? Like, I don't know. It just seems, I think we're really massively downplaying the nature of what's happened with Keffals. Because, like, that's not just like a little mistake or an error or a bad take. It's fucking potentially criminal, surely, no? Okay, well, Nicholas is going to apparently bring the heat in a minute, so we'll see, okay?
So, again, I'm not... Look, your criticism is fair. It's just, I personally have a different assessment based on my own experiences that give me a little bit more compassion for decision-making that I think we would both agree is very bad.
I just wish you made the video on Keffals. I wish you exposed Keffals, not Muta. I do. I wish that your own community policed itself.
Sure.
That's what I wish happened.
I mean, I'm more frustrated with the lack of acknowledgement, and this is not personal to you, Brianna, but it's more or less just the trans community just can't take a W on this. We have to have discourse over a thumbnail. We have to talk about who drew the thumbnail. We have to talk about legislation. I understand the legislation problem. Don't get me wrong. It's you go on a Twitch panel, you can't escape it. It's one of the main subject matters that I see discussed on stuff like this. But I feel like it's not a prerequisite when you're in a situation as bad as this to just openly because obviously your stance on DIY hormones is different than mine and different than Mutahar's, but I don't think we disagree.
Is it different? What is the difference between our positions? I don't hear any difference.
Are you for DIY hormones for children at all?
Of course I'm not. I think I've said this. It's very bad.
That's my mistake.
Okay, let me say this really explicitly.
Well, I don't know if that's a mistake, Nicholas. I think that Briannu Wu has intentionally kept it vague in the original tweet. And now is getting to kind of guideline the right take based on what the perception is, right? That's what it comes across like to me. Keep it broad enough, and then nail it down in the most politically expedient way. You know. And also, here's the other problem I've got too. Forget about minors for a second, okay? I said earlier that I am not going to care if another adult decides they want tits, so they go and put themselves on HRT through some fucking dodgy website. Just like I wouldn't care about someone ordering fucking heroin off the internet or whatever they want to do, okay? I would just personally advocate that they're not safe because they're not government approved, they're not got the right licensing or whatever, so the government should endeavor to take them down. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, an adult is doing that. I just don't really care. That's their fucking business, right? But I think that that's different to kind of maybe the way a trans person might see it, because they're not going to see it as a look the other way, not look the other way, but not caring because of like the idea they've got autonomy to do that if they want to, but it's bad generally for society, so the government should do something about it. It's like, it's more of a support of it, right? Like that should be promoted to people or something like that. And I think that's another difference too. But
because I don't want anyone to misunderstand this, I don't support minors taking DIY hormones. But exactly the same way that women have back alley abortions, minors are going to take DIY hormones if we don't build a system.
No, they're not. Not necessarily. There's certainly going to be less chance of it if people are not promoting ways that children can access it, like with DIY HRT. What? Really? Surely you must see that Keffals and then Bob Poster promoting it is going to lead to that eventuality if you allow that than if you don't, right?
If you're serious.
Yeah, we spoke about the fucking abortion thing earlier. It's a stupid comparison, but
about stopping minors from taking DIY hormones, you've got to give them a healthcare system that will deliver for them. I'm talking about outcomes. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. And I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you that like it makes like people can't condemn what is obviously bad. That discourse is not allowed to happen in this community. We have to look past that. And that just makes the community look worse as a whole.
This is a problem with progressivism. It's not just trans people. There's no self-correcting mechanism in the progressive space, which is why you've got these nut jobs praising Hamas and pretending that the October 7th rapes didn't happen, right?
Okay. This is like saying something, dude. It's like this pivot away to say something that you think people are going to be like, yeah, what a base take. Like this has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Who cares about who cares about October 7th, bro? Jesus Christ, fuck me. The Hamas supporters are right. Stop going on about it, for fuck's sake. Especially in a conversation that's about fucking trans shit. It's nothing to do with it.
It's just getting crazier and crazier, and it's not even about any public policy anymore. So I share your assessment. Like, where's the self-policing from the community? It's a huge problem. It's got to change. It's causing us to become the left-wing version of Gamergate, and you just can't. I can't look the other way on this anymore.
I gotta go, but here's my final statement on this. This isn't a trans issue. This whole thing, Keffals, has nothing to do with trans, right? It's literally a content creator like all of us who are content creators who lied, who manipulated, and who potentially stole thousands of dollars from their fans, right? That's the story here. And every pushback tries to turn it into, oh, this is transphobic and this and that. And like every response to this is pure manipulation. People from your community, Briannu Wu, need to stand up for facts and truth and get rid of the bad actors because it makes the whole group look bad, especially when they're defending, the thumbnails transphobic and stuff like that, stuff that no one will agree with. No one can look at that thumbnail and be like, oh yeah, Muta is being transphobic. No one's coming to that conclusion. It makes everyone looking bad. She is toxic and everyone needs to run for the hills. Supporting her means going down the toilet with her.
Yo, based statement from Keemstar.
Just a quick thing. Sorry,
say something real quick.
I agree.
Please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sally.
All right, I want to say this, and I'm gonna
The thing is, Brianna's saying, you know, oh yeah, I agree with that, right? But it's like, okay, you've just been sweeping for Keffals, though. You've just been sweeping for Keffals, and it's very cool. So how do you agree with what he said? Like, if you agreed, you'd be going, yeah, you know, I was really stupid before. Yeah, I know it's late in the day, but holy shit, this Keffals stuff's crazy. But you're still, you know, using this trauma as an excuse and shit.
Okay. Listen, I understand you saying that she has trauma, but I can't get past that because I feel like you're giving her the pass and the excuse for what she's done by saying that. That's literally what it feels like.
What am I specifically excusing?
Ziley's in
I've
there.
acknowledged a ton of things. There have been mistakes. I'm saying for me personally, Briannu Wu, the individual, I have an assessment and it gives me some compassion for it. I said Muta's video is entirely fair. I said she needed to answer it. I said any number of criticisms here are fair. So what am I defending other than saying I personally have experience that gives me some compassion for this?
I'm going to be honest. She doesn't deserve any compassion. She doesn't. She doesn't deserve any compassion because that's given her a pass. She needs to answer for what she did, every little bit of it.
We can worry about compassion. Okay. We can worry about compassion when Keffals actually takes some fucking responsibility and owns up and says, yes, okay, the money has been misappropriated, and fucking comes clean and does everything they can to actually remedy this and try and give money back or whatever it is, right? Like, it's at this point, there's got to be some sort of fucking, you know, holding your hands up. Yes, I fucked up. Yes, I messed up real bad. Okay? But without that, it's worthless. Without that action, you're just using this idea of compassion to essentially give cover for really shitty actions, right? And, if someone is traumatized enough, or if someone feels bad enough about something, okay, then, you know, we've got to be nice. We've got to be nice about it because they're going for a bad time or something like that, you know? No, that's absurd. That's ridiculous.
Of it.
Okay. I think Keffals needs to take a long step away from public life.
No! Keffals doesn't just need to take a long step away from public life. Keffals needs to admit they stole a bunch of money from the fucking fans.
I did this after.
And also, even if that meant some legal consequence, yes, accept that, take that. Yes, correct. You should do that because you fucked up that badly. Trauma is not a free pass for shitty behavior. Yes, exactly. Anyway, let's just... I'm getting too mad. Calm down.
I think Keffals needs to take a long step away from public life. I did this after Gamergate. I got my head on straight, and I think as long as she's in the public eye, I think it's just going to keep getting worse. So I think the kindest thing she could do for herself is to take a long break.
Okay, so this is one of the things that
the kindest thing she could do to herself is take a long break. Yeah, 100k. Don't worry about it. This weird DOHD thing, don't worry about it. Like, forget. Just go on a little break. Just have a little time to yourself. Oh my god, this is crazy.
So many fucking warning signs with people like Keffals, and it's not just Keffals. I remember at the time there was this like big conversation of, well, and it's a mood video. I use myself as a lightning rod, and I think that is fucking bollocks. Like, Keffals used her community not as like, she wasn't the shield for it, she used it as a sword. And like members of her own community were getting doxxed, were getting like put on blast, whether it was Twitter, Kiwi Farms, whatever, because she was encouraging them to put themselves at risk. And I know when it's like, well, Keffals is going through trauma, but isn't there I feel like there's almost a wider conversation there with the fact that, you know, people weaponize their communities and are calling it activism. It's not fucking activism. It's just bludgeoning people that they dislike. That's what the whole ratioing thing was in the first place. And like, not to mention, like the way Keffals acted towards that community. Like, I remember the fucking ban trials because she used a bot to mass ban everyone, and then people had to plead in the messages to get back in, and then like that got turned into content. And when you see creators do that and they get a pass, like Hassan and everything else, it just seems like there's this double standard when you label yourself an activist, which is incredibly frustrating.
There's a double standard when you label yourself trans. Okay, can we just call it what it is, please? From the progressive community, at least. I think the righties have got a different view on it, obviously, but from the progressives, yeah, you label yourself as trans, boom, that's it. Shield from criticism. Easy peasy.
Rating to watch happen.
Well, it's not invisible. I watched Denim say we're going to be talking about a thumbnail today because I don't think it's worth critiquing someone.
Bro, the reason she did that was because she absolutely hated me on the Israel-Palestine thing. That's why. She was like already biased.
She literally came out and straight up said,
I don't, the thing is, I mean, I can't speak to that exactly, but I think the truth of it is that just very simple is sides cucked bullshit, right? That's what it comes down to. Just, this is someone on my side. This is someone who's got the right identity. So I will sweep, 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 sweep.
I will not be covering this because I don't think it's valuable to criticize a leftist content creator. It's out loud.
Hey,
That's
listen,
crazy.
what does Keffals do when she gets any kind of criticism? She'll fire up a stream how she was raped or something. That's what she's going to end up doing.
Okay, that's
and deflect. That's what she's going to end up doing.
That was based.
Normally I would
That was
say it's
pretty
out of
based.
pocket, but she did kind of do that to Xander Hall. That clip is crazy, dude. That clip was fucking crazy. What was the quote? Like, I have to relive this because Xander Hall retweeted someone. Like, I don't know. That was a little wild. I mean, keep in mind, this is around the time when Xander Hall got the screenshots that she was talking about how she just loves doxing people in private.
So here's a really honest
God, I tell you what, White Nervosa. I think White Nervosa hides behind the idea that they were covering for Cherry in that situation, but I'm pretty sure that a big part of it was also protecting Keffals. Because if you look at the White Nervosa tweets, I mean, I've always spoke about this the other day, but if you look at the White Nervosa tweets, White Nervosa is like, there were, you know, private conversations. Yeah, private conversations about how much Keffals loves doxing. What the fuck, dude? There were conversations that happened in private, so therefore, I don't think it's fair. Like, we're acting like it was like some sort of embarrassing sexting or something like that. No, it was Keffals saying, I love doxing. Yes, I do love doxing, actually. Thank you. Possibly. I honestly just think it's simpler than that. I think that, you know, it's become untenable to defend Keffals. So people are jumping ship. Oh, sorry. My bad. Keffals was the attack hound to beat an opponent in submission. Now she's an inconvenience and must be thrown out. Right, okay. Thank you.
Question. You know, I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of content creators over the last 2 years, and to some extent, everyone here is mentally damaged, right? Like being in, it's amazing to me anyone actually wants to be a content creator.
True.
Because it does take a toll. The drama cycles take a toll. Getting screamed at all the time takes a toll. So, I mean, what is like the ethical way to do this? To have kindness for someone that's going through something difficult but is making bad decisions.
No one is owed kindness. No one is owed any fucking... No one is owed kindness. I don't care about fucking kindness. I'm not here as a fucking charity to be nice to people, even though I am too nice sometimes, because Chud is too fair. But, like, why? Why does anyone deserve to be being nice to? It's so insufferable to me that Keffals can do all the stuff that Keffals has done, like the ratio shit, all of it, right? Okay? Like, viciously attacking people every step of the way, every turn. But then, when the shoe's on the other foot, be nice. When I am weak, I will ask you for freedom, because that is according to your principles. But when I'm strong, I will take away your freedom, because that is according to my principles.
Beast became a member.
That's what this is. Thank you for the memberships.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I
Is it butchered? That was it, wasn't it?
Konradsk became a member.
No, that was it. I did it right. I got it right around that time, I think.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money
Yeah, thank you.
off depressed people?
Thank you. I did get it right, see?
Scorpion became a member.
But that's exactly what it is.
Okay,
when the getting's good, me rowing, I fucked that bit up. Me sowing, me reaping.
Became a member.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm just sick of people doing this.
Kangalopi became a member.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. Okay? I don't know. I just like, you know, and I'm not an advocate, and people are going to go, oh, you're too nice, Chud. I'm not an advocate for attacking anyone or going after anyone. I don't think you guys should do anything about this, okay? Obviously, I'm an anti-harassment advocate, okay? But it's just so irritating to me that people can just be this crazy about it. Well, Styler, you say the things I can't, okay? That's the truth of it. That's the truth of the matter, okay? Stand back and stand by, okay? But yeah, no, it's you know, it's just so irritating to me that people can act this obnoxiously, and then when the shoe is on the other foot, it's, oh no, wait, slow down. You know, it's like, what? Like fucking, you know, Keemstar's being very reasonable and fair in this call, but like, Keffals called Keemstar a pedophile, and you know, worse than even I got it because it's repeated. It's repeated and endlessly getting called a pedo.
But also hold people accountable, because it feels like we're going to those extremes there, right? Like we're either looking the other way.
It has to be victims. Well, and I think that there are in this case. I
was definitely being too cut the other day when at the end of the day, right? It's not brigading to say, if you gave money to Keffals GoFundMe and with this new information, you feel like you've been misled and you feel that there's some potential fraud at play, you should contact GoFundMe, right? That is the correct remedy, right? And it's not to say, fill out a load of bullshit fucking claims. It is to say, let them know that you have been fucking feel misled by the GoFundMe, because that's exactly what it's there for, you know? Like, absolutely, that's what you should do. Because, yeah, it's like, it's insane. It's such an insane thing. Have you thought about therapy, Chud? If you're really irritated by people you don't know IRL, you may need to talk about
wonderful.
it.
But how
I'm
do
alright. I just suppress everything deep down.
I'm behind in the stream, but one thing about Briannu Wu was confirmed for me. She's absolutely just an optics wretch.
True. Thank you for the $20. Well, I can't file a complaint because I never gave money, so I can't, you know, have to do with me. But you should do that if you obviously, you know, hopefully people do. Therapy, therapy is for women and gays.
Who is the victim? Who is the victim?
$100,000 of
Hey, Chris, yes, we watched it at the start. It was kind of a little small thing, so we chucked it in there. But yeah.
I'm a victim. Me? Yeah. I'm a victim.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not just you. It's every single trans person who has to make a GoFundMe in the future. And people go, well, where's my money going this time? I thought this was going to someone whose life was in danger, and they spent it on fucking a GoPro.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think that is just the reality of most of these trans GoFundMes, all right? If you stop giving money to the trans GoFundMe industrial complex, fraud would reduce by about 90%, I reckon, on GoFundMe, to be honest. So, there we go. Oh, guys, I'm coming up short again. I need some more money. Guys.
Welcome to Chud Nation.
I can't pay my rent again. And I can't get a job because, I mean, look at me. Okay, that's a bit much. Come on.
It's a little, I hear what you're saying. I think the long-term answer for trans healthcare cannot be GoFundMe. So I think
but it is right now. Yes. That's the current state of things.
I think that's
very, it survives off of goodwill.
Yeah.
Okay, who is that based guy? That base gender critical guy? Alpha Up a Tree. Didn't Alpha Up a Tree show that person that got accused of abuse? Sophie from Mars, I think, is the name. That was putting out, that was accused of putting out cigarettes on people. That was accused. Okay, I need to be careful. Oh, that was accused of extinguishing fags. As in cigarettes. That's what we say over here, to be clear, Twitch, okay?
I think it's more than just money. It's the perception of a community that you claim to advocate for. Look, I'll say this from right now, okay? Like fucking people like Osama bin Laden, right? Like they're fucking bad Muslims. We all can agree, right? But they were just fucking terrible people to begin with. I think activists like Muslims that ultimately harm I think anybody that advocates, right, versus
we're getting into the Muslim combo.
Just being shitty is bad enough, because an advocate or somebody that tries to make your community look better, but inadvertently keeps falling into the same traps that makes you look worse than ever before.
Sophie from Mars versus Poly People. Who we got, chat? That's actually giving me a great idea. You know, obviously, trans people want to participate in sports, but they struggle sometimes because they don't fit the criteria for, like, you know, being a biological woman, okay? Instead of bum fights, trans fights, okay? No limits, no issues, nothing whatsoever, okay? You can just get in the ring, whatever that you look like, whatever your testosterone levels are, wherever you monitor it, estrogen, and just fucking have at each other. No holds barred. Trans wrestling. The trans battle arena. Yes, exactly. Perfect. Oh, we're having trouble filling the fighters. For some reason, they don't seem to be turning up for the fight. I don't know what's going on. A certain percentage don't seem to be turning up. Okay. Come on. That can mean anything. That can mean literally anything.
Okay,
Plausible
that's wonderful.
deniability.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Slightly joking.
Thank you for the
but
$20.
Wu single-handedly made me stop watching the Sitch and Adam show. After watching her so easily just build rapport and use that to weasel out of answering or justifying her past actions. L.
Thank you for the $20. It's toll. What is this? Chud hoping they stop saying Gox DK. This makes me feel weird. Chud hoping their Gox pop out of the leotards mid-fight. Chud, I like this idea, but why are the leotards so small? Don't worry about that. Just get out there. Get out there and get wrestling.
Quite significant.
Oh my god. Okay, edit this out. Edit that bit out of the thing, okay? We're not having that. Fix it in post.
Is ultimately even more of a harm than an actual piece of shit to begin with, right? That's my problem with like Keffals. Yes, I had empathy for drug abuse. Don't get me wrong, I do. And I feel like a lot of your empathy comes from the fact that you were more friendly with her at some point. That is what I'm hearing. But I think that just because we're friends with people, I think that honestly, that as hard as it sounds and as painful as it is, the people that were once friends should be the hardest, right? Like Mama Max, for instance, you know, I made a big fuck up trusting that guy. That's why I went even harder in policing that and trying to get that situation based L taking in the best possible way. Yeah. Because you're in a situation where you're more connected to this than I'm ever going to be connected, or anybody else in this call. And yeah, you can have empathy. Look, she's going, and I don't wish ill will on anybody. Okay, I do, however, wish that she ends up paying back that money.
I reckon I'm about 3 months out from just wishing ill will on people. I'm about 3 months out from that. Okay, I reckon a few more months of this, and I'll be there. Not just yet, but I reckon I'm getting there.
Or she ends up in some capacity paying back the people that she has set back, you know, in the grand scheme of things, right? Because the core end of that video was most trans people just want to fucking live. You've inadvertently made their life harder than any other controlled or any opposition. That's the real fucking problem here, right? And it shouldn't take somebody from outside that community who has an autistic, you know, fucking once you have a topic on your dartboard, you're finishing it 100%. There's a reason why this Keffals thing was in my head for fucking months. I had to finish it. I was literally at fucking writer's block until I finished it. You know, part of me, like people say, man, you must have gotten a bag off of transphobia. Fuck no, I have a job outside of this. Trust me, the money that I made.
You probably made more money off the PlayStation video the next day than you did
exactly,
on that.
100%. You're fucking joking there, to be honest. So, for me, this isn't the idea of that. For me, it's the idea of actual salient justice, right? And I think it pains me from a personal level to see a group of people that have such high hopes, that want to be recognized, or just want to live their life, who have to constantly fucking feel like shit because there's an activist in their camp that just keeps setting the fucking clock back.
Okay,
I mean, the thing is, I think pretty much every trans person supported Keffals online back in the day, if I recall correctly. It's those. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. 3 months away from wishing ill on people, and about a week away from becoming gender critical, I think. But yeah, it's like, oh no, there's actually these other trans people and stuff. And I'm sure, you know, there probably are people offline or whatever that don't get involved in it. But, you know, there was a big trend towards Keffals support. Which, you know, I think if you went back and looked at a lot of trans people, they probably were just openly supporting Keffals, you know? I'm not there. I'm honestly, I'm never going to become gender critical. I can't really become gender critical because, I don't know, I feel like they've got some weird fundamentalist takes about men. The TERFs, you know? Or you got a dick, so you're a rapist. I mean, that's a bit much, isn't it? But yeah. I'm not going to be transphobic. I genuinely am not going to just become a bigot. Genuinely. Because I feel a certain way about something. That's crazy. I'm not a bigoted guy. I'm too nice. I'm a bleeding heart lefty. All right?
Hard question for you, Mutahar. This is a really tough question. Okay, you think Keffals is a bad activist. Who are the good activists in the trans community?
Buck Angel. Buck Angel and Blair White. There we go. Boom. There's my picks. There's my top picks.
That you can point to, people above board, doing good work, not being reactive, not screaming about thumbnails, able to really think about public policy.
That's a question that I am not too much of an expert.
ContraPoints is good. I agree. Yeah.
Blair White.
Not Blair White.
Yo!
Jesus fucking Christ.
Blair White.
Off depressed people.
Yes.
Freeman was probably
True.
rubbing his Jewish hands when heard Muta said that.
Hey, thank you for the $10. I think Freeman was more rubbing his hands together of the DJ Academics news, no? He fucking hates that guy, doesn't he? I mean, Freeman hates everyone, to be fair. But in particular, he's done a lot of DJ Academic stuff recently.
Blair White is crazy. Like, she's a drama queen, but she also talks to a right-wing constituency in a way that the left does not. And I think that actually has a ton of value.
Well, here's the other thing.
Tipster's a good one.
Well, okay, all jokes aside, right? Like, if you ask me, ContraPoints, Natalie Wynn comes to my head.
So this is the reason I asked this, is I think it's a problem. It's a
Muta,
really...
can you fix your mic? You're kind of drifting off.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm fucking disconnected here. But
I
no, the other
think-
thing is, like, if we're
Sure.
ContraPoints, that's the question we brought up, because we're not in the community, but you are in the community. So the thing is,
I think
who
there's
is
a
good-
real
who
lack
would be-
of leadership. I think there's a
who would be
real
an
lack of
activist right now
leadership.
that you would put up? that
I
you
think
would, like,
Aaron
fucking-
Reed does good work
Okay, that's wonderful.
directionally.
How do I make money off depressed
Aaron
people?
Reed!
Pro-trans kids,
No.
Chud's right on
Absolutely
this.
not.
If some kid tries to HRT themselves without blood work and fucks up your hormone level, now they'll have to go through the puberty you didn't want anyways just to fix your levels.
Thank you very much for the $20. What's funny about that is I just happen to have covered some of the recent cast review shit and stuff like that. And yeah, they were like just spreading abject misinformation about the cast review when it came out. You know, I've not looked into all of their work, but yeah, I mean, they are a virulent source of different disinformation just from what I've seen with what the cast review was and how they reported on it. Aaron Reed is, I mean, and also, you know, I'm a fucking layman really in these matters, but someone like Jesse Single, who has done a lot of work and research into this stuff and reported on it, you know, to the cries of endless transphobia, has pointed out that, yeah, Aaron Reed is someone who, you know, pushes misinformation about this stuff because they're ideologically compromised. Dude, this is insane. To promote Aaron Reed is fucking horrendous.
I think Alejandra is a hot mess. I think she's terrible. I think Jessie Gender is just the worst. You know.
Oh, I think there's been some DM leaks between Wu and Jessie Gender now. But Jessie Gender's... Yo, Jessie Gender, get fucked! Who's laughing now? But I don't even know what... Oh, it's the H bomber guy stuff. I don't even have that big an issue personally with Jessie Jenner. I just remember they were like doing this really gay thing where they were covering like lots of H bomber guy stuff, and they were doing the whole guys. I hate to do this, but I've got to talk about the H bomber guy James Summit and stuff again. Obviously unsaid that their videos get a bunch of views when they do it, but acting like they've got some sort of civil necessity to talk about this when it's clearly just because, you know, the fucking it's good for the algorithm. I don't like, honestly, in all seriousness, I don't really like any. So there is a fundamental problem that you've got when it comes to trans people, okay? And the fundamental issue is they generally, if you look at the way they talk about these matters, they have got survivorship bias dressed up as personal experience that should be listened to always, right? And you see it all the time on conversations about like expressions of gender incongruence in minors, because they're looking at it from the perspective of, oh, I'm trans now and I'm on hormones and da-da-da, so kids should get that as well, you know? But it's like, well, no, you're looking at it from your perspective, right? But there's also truth in the idea that maybe they're not going to turn out to be trans, so they don't need to go on these fucking treatments, you know? So it's like, I just think there's an issue where it's fine to like take an element of personal experience, but that doesn't mean that should govern like healthcare necessarily, you know, because there's lots of questions and issues with the conversation. It's like saying, who's the best murderer? Oh, come on, Ollie, come on. It's fucking Jesus Christ. So yeah, I just think that I don't really like any of these activists. I think that, you know, someone like Buck Angel gives quite good takes and is more realistic about it. But yeah, a lot of these online trans activists are just annoying, ideologically compromised retards, as far as I can see.
I think it is person after person after person that's elevated in this community that ends up being extremely bad for the community, because it's not about trying to accomplish any.
What the fuck is this? Oh my God. People are discussing the concept of virtue signaling and whether or not it is a good thing. They are also talking about the transgender community and whether or not it is a good idea to support them. Are you? Guys, what the fuck? It's supposed to be a trans positive channel.
Public policy, it's all about their hashtag brand. So I hear what you're saying about Keffals, and I think it's a fair critique, but this is a pattern that's like through the entire community. And you know, just to really talk about structural issues of why this happens, a lot of this is because the gay rights groups that should have been building real trans leaders for the last 20 years, they're just not interested in it. HRC is not producing trans leaders. You know, Land Illegal is barely funded.
Also,
like, there's just
like, I accept that the trans community wants to have the little activists and stuff and whatever, but we're talking about such a small percentage of the population, and we're making it such a big focus of this. And again, we're so far away from what we're supposed to be talking about, which is about the fucking Keffals shit. Oh, man. Listen, go and do whatever. Just stay away from the kids, and I think we'll be laughing. I think that's probably the best route at this point. Recognise there's been a lot of overextensions. Go back to transsexual. That's, I think, would be a good step. You know, take a step back from all this wishy-washy woke shit that's happened, and just be like, yeah, transsexuals. You know, I think that was a good time. I think it was based. I think that's what we need to go back to. Yeah, what do you reckon, guys?
not a pipeline to develop people to become like credible spokespeople on this. So it's that failure that causes a whole panoply of YouTube.
I'm a Blanchardist. I am a trans medicalist. I am true scum. You got to be trans to be true scum, haven't you? I'm all the things they say is bad that were totally fine 10 years ago and no one cared about. Yes, I'm all those things.
Stars to like fill that gap because no one else is doing this.
Well, Philosophy Tube's going to be in Star Wars, so
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that.
Well, I think the one concern is, I don't know if it's the YouTube algorithm that forces this way, but the reason why we're just only talking about Keffals is because she has made herself the Jesse Jackson of trans. And that's the only thing you're gonna have to get out of. That's the only fucking thing that we're gonna have to try to find a way. Like, she made herself the lightning rod. That was her own thing. That was literally it. So this is why we're talking. Nobody else is in that position. Nobody else has even claimed to jump into that position too. So this is
But that's another reason why I have a problem with Keffals. I feel like Keffals used that opportunity to exploit people. There is no figurehead. I'll be the figurehead.
Oh God.
Keffals is really good at I think at her best, she can really see a controversy and drag some drama out of it. I think it's a skill I really it's too bad she can't use it for good. Yeah.
She like the Kiwi Farms, the Drop Kiwi Farms thing. That's not the work of an amateur.
That's true. I've been working on that for a really long time. She got it done where me and a whole bunch of political professionals completely failed.
What, did she get it done?
Yeah, did she do that?
What? Keffals totally failed. Keffals totally failed in that. Kiwi Farms is stronger than ever. What?
Well, that's fair point. Fair point.
It's still there. If anything, it's more resilient than ever.
Fair point.
Yes, Beckett. Yes, Beckett. Let's go. Base from Beckett.
She dealt. Let's phrase it this way. She dealt a blow that a lot of serious people have been trying to deal for a very long time, and took it down.
Well, it's funny. She's great at doxing people in the DMs.
All right.
The thing about the Kiwi Farm stuff, and this is one of the things that I address too, because I've seen people say like I ran cover for Kiwi Farms or something. Look, at the end of the day, Kiwi Farms to me, I've said it in the video, and this is why I don't tweet out anything, because it's like you gotta watch the video. Like fucking anybody that's been shitting on me for this, I condemn their fucking behavior, right? Like transphobia, none of this shit has a fucking place in my mind. That being said, I did stand by my definition of what they do is functionally legal. Right? Like even the definition of doxing, right? For instance, if we're going by just the US version of it, if they're just cataloging shit they see in the white pages, that's not doxing. I compared it to the other website Zero, where the group was actually maliciously
Docspin. That's Docspin, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know. I've got a hard policy whenever someone references Docspin without saying it, we're saying it, okay? Because I just don't understand why it's become like Voldemort.
using U.S. servicemen credentials or U.S. federal agent credentials to source information out of like federal databases. That's a fucking problem. That's illegal behavior. These are distinctions I make out. Now, as far as the website going, yeah, shutting down Kiwi Farms and delivering a blow is one thing, but being a fucking form.
She asked the service provider to deprave a legal website of their service. Like, yeah, I mean, I've said this before about this. It's like this kind of like website operating totally legally without, within the US law. And you just circumvent that in order to take down a website you don't like because it's mean and it's got information on there which is protected by the First Amendment. I mean, dude, it's like insane. I'm only vaguely familiar with Kiwi Farms, so I've got to ask, is a site so terrible that they shouldn't be allowed to exist? If you think Kiwi Farms in its current form is so bad that it shouldn't be allowed to exist, then what you should do is create a movement to get the rules or the law changed, okay? Not circumvent the law and try and get something taken down of your own accord, because then it just opens the door to, unless you're like a massive platform like Facebook and stuff like that, you're just not, you could be in the firing line at some point potentially. The chat is asking if it's bad. Wait, what did I say? Oh, did I say? Okay. Too many energy drinks. It's got docs information on there. That is the main thing that people don't like, because on most platforms, ostensibly there's a rule against doxing stuff, but obviously it's not always enforced quickly, so docs can spread. But the difference is they don't get rid of docs information. Other than that, that's the only criticism that you could make that I'm like, yeah, fair. Like, publicizing that is going to make it more of a risk for someone. But that is like the slimmest kind of thing I would say about it. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I just don't think even the doxing stuff gives you justification to take it down outside of the law. No. What platform is enforcing that rule to not dox people? Well, the reality is because of their size, Facebook, Twitter, all the big tech platforms, I would wager, likely have got way more dox stuff on than Kiwi Farms does. Or at least it's seen by more people before it maybe does get taken down. Like, let me ask you this. If I said to you, right, you're getting doxed and we're going to put your information, but you get to choose the website, would you rather have it put on Facebook, Twitter, or Kiwi Farms? Like, what would you select out of those options? Like, I would imagine you probably select Kiwi Farms because it's less likely that people are going to see it than if it's posted on Facebook or Twitter or something, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Doxbin is, you know, got, well, I can't really speak to it. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, it's got some, let's just say they touch the poo from what I understand, whereas Kiwi Farms has got a policy against that.
Former cybersecurity agent, right? Like the idea of looking at what the site is now, even if there are less users, right? It is a much more resilient site than ever before. And some of the technologies on it, I wouldn't even doubt have been spread to other more dangerous websites, I would say, or more insanely wild websites that I won't name. So this is what's happened out of the campaign. It was shut down briefly, brought up back on Tor, and now it has a front-facing clear web domain that is easily accessible.
They got $100,000 in donations for their own legal fund now, by the way, which I'm sure is not going to GoPros.
So this would be my pushback on that. And look, I agree with you, Mutahar. Like directionally, there's a very strong free speech argument for Kiwi Farms. I want to tell you what my experience with Kiwi Farms has been. Let me just tell you a really graphic story.
Okay, that should be the end of the conversation, but now we're going into more victim shit. Listen.
Of something that happened. Someone looked at my pictures online, you know, public information, Facebook pictures, me taking a picture of my dog or whatever. And, you know, they took those pictures and they managed to diagram a picture of my house. And they did a background picture of the house and they put it on Kiwi Farms. It got published on Medium.
Sounds about right.
And then from there, one of those nut jobs started sending me graphic stories every single day explaining how they were going to come through my house and execute me, execute my dogs, execute my husband, like really graphic stories, like talking about how they were going to get me and cut the skin off my body and force feed it to me. So it is a vector for sending mentally unhealthy people to your real world life. And like, there's no...
The problem is with this is that is the problem, isn't it? It's the person that is doing that is the problem. The information being online, yeah, you could argue it makes it more accessible or something like that, but it's on a website that is very niche that I just think that if you were to mention that you did that on the website, you get banned. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, well, that's a very nice story and all, okay, but that doesn't really change the fact that at a fundamental level, it is a legal website, and if you don't like the fact that it's legally applicable, it's legally available to be on the internet, maybe you should have one of those policy discussions that you like so much about putting in place policy to actually change the rules so that doxing is actually legal at a federal level, so that then you can get the website taken down, or the Kiwi Farms would be forced to change its rules, right? Is that not what the solution would be? Like, that should be the solution then, especially a policy wonk like Briannu Wu should be advocating for a change in policy, and that should be the end of it. It's legally allowed to exist. There's bad stuff that I don't like, so therefore I'm going to advocate for policy to get it taken down. No?
Easy policy answer here, because free speech is really important.
Hey,
I thought
fair enough.
Said,
oh, wait, hang on. No, wait.
To your real world.
Wait, so there's no easy policy answer here.
Healthy people to your real world life, and like, there's no easy policy answer here because.
Oh, I see. I got it wrong. I thought that Brianna was going to talk about policy that you could implement. Right. Okay. Yeah, no. So now policy is too difficult. Too difficult to come up with a good policy answer for this. Okay, I see.
Free speech is really important. I thought when you said, like, we banned a lot of this stuff on mainstream platforms, and of course it's going to go somewhere, I actually think that's a very fair statement. But it's not, I think there's a tendency by people to not really look at what the real world outcome is of some of these sites. And it really, really hurts people. I actually know women that have very deliberately stayed out of the limelight for their entire career because they have children and they don't want them targeted with this stuff. So I think there's a wider calculus.
I think that the problem, okay, this is the fundamental issue though. It's a two-way street, right? So on the one hand, I definitely agree that if someone's harassing and sending stuff, obviously, I mean, it's illegal to do the cyber stalking harassment shit. But like, you don't have to stay out of the limelight, but I just think you probably do need to be cautious about the information that you put online. And I think we've got to a stage where people are just way too open with stuff and put way too much information on the internet that you just don't need to put on. I just don't think you need to put the sheer level of information that you do on the internet and have it also linked so closely so that someone can find all of your stuff from point A to point B to point B to point C to point D, What's it called? Fucking OPSEC is what they call it, isn't it? So yeah, I think creators need to, creators need to just have a bit more sense with this and just recognize that, maybe you don't need to put endless pictures of your house and your kids on the fucking internet,
wonderful.
okay?
But how do I make
or have it on
money
private
off
places that can then be linked, like
They
Facebook
don't
to your
actually
Twitter.
want to outlaw doxing too, because then the news would be held liable for doxing libs of TikTok, Ed Piscator and Bike Rental Karen.
Thank you for the $5.
Relation of what happens from this.
I think this is with websites like Kiwi Farms personally is like when I mentioned the Kiwi Farms, and like you said when you messaged me, we're all from like old school porch.
Yeah.
There are far more insane boards out there that I feel like the energy could have been more directed at towards, right? Which is one of the points of the videos. I'm like, look, not going to cover for Kiwi Farms, but if I had the tier list, the level of hell that existed on the internet, the website that actually caused the damage should have been down. The problem that I also have, and I probably should actually mention this in the video, is that when you don't take down the offending website, right? And in this case, we'll call it website 0 again. That website gains more power, in the sense that they know that, they're just going to go after the fucking, the other website, blah, 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 because we're still fucking safe. That's my only other concern, like, with this situation. The other thing is, look, I get it. Your information is out there. People say really wild stuff all the time, too. And I'm not going to run the oppression Olympics over here because we're all content creators. There's a good chance all of our personal information is already out there.
All of it.
When I did deep web browsing, there was an entire 3-4 dark web pages, literal pages, not the farms, the pages where they just put all of my information up there, right? It's to the point where I'm doing the Tony Soprano sitting outside in my backyard with a fucking AK-47 waiting for the fucking worst to happen because paranoia kind of hits you. No jokes right there. People will do fucked up shit. I worry about family. There have been previous tenants for older homes that I've lived in that I've had awkward calls with because shit has happened. People have sent stuff to...
I think the other thing as well about this is I feel like if someone is that crazy that they want to come and do you harm, they'll just get your information anyway. Like, don't get me wrong, I think doxing is gay, okay? And I don't think it's good to dox people and have dox information easily available, whatever, right? I'm against doxing. But like, I don't know, it's like if someone is that insane about you, they're going to get your info and come and track you down anyway. So it just, doesn't really make that much difference. You're just adding an extra impediment, a small impediment if someone is that psychotic. Because I think the vast majority of people are not going to come to your house and shit, Like, what was his face? Fucking Dark Viper. Oh my god, dude. Dark Viper uploaded a video about whether or not his girlfriend is going to come on stream. And in the video, there's a clip of him saying, oh, these people are so obsessed with me. Maybe when people stop being obsessed weirdos, I can bring my girlfriend on stream. But anyway, Dark Viper, when his address got doxed on Kiwi Farms, they made a song about it. They made an AI song of the dogs. You know, that's the kind of shit that we're talking about. You know, that's what it tends to be more so than anything else. But yeah.
To the house, have shown up. I get it. There's a lot of bad stuff on the internet. There's a lot of bad fucking people out there for sure.
Sure.
With that also completely said, though, it's like what these websites do and what is. I get shutting them down. I just feel like championing them being shut down and using it as like it aggravates them even more.
Burn me on a fucking cross here. I understand. Look, this shit's got my fucking address on it too. All right, I understand what you're saying, but like, let's not pretend that 99% of the discussion on Kiwi Farms isn't just people like laughing, calling people fat, and talking about fucking YouTube drama. Like the vast majority of it is literally just.
I agree with that. And I think like the long-term policy solution, like I've talked to Catherine Clark, Congresswoman Catherine Clark, who's in charge of the DNC nowadays, a lot about this. Like the long-term policy solution of this is we need law enforcement to understand that some of these death threats in the digital age, it's not benign, and we need for them to like prosecute some of these cases.
Most death threats,
like I think that
most death threats that happen are benign. I think when it's like I'm gonna murder you in your sleep or something, it's like that's benign. If someone's messaging you, your movements, your address, like more specific, yeah, sure. That's something that I think you should be able to pass on to authorities, and they get whatever they need to track it down.
Okay,
and
that's wonderful.
Pay a visit to them, whatever, you know.
Off depressed people.
The only thing I
hey,
that I only consume Chud content to sweep. I watch 80% of ChudLogic and 20% of ChudLogic Noir routinely.
Thanks for the $10 counterpoints. Money talks. Money talks. I got a little slice of the PV cash. Thank you very much for the $10. But yeah, I think that the vast majority of the lady offering 30k to delete Asmongold is a bit more serious. She needs to be an example of. I just don't agree with you. I don't know. I just think that death threats are used more often to some aspect rather than like, for example, there was that trans person that got involved in this. TERFs aren't women or whatever that fucking account was, right? And they quote tweeted Mutahar, and they were complaining about getting these messages, and it was like, and then later they said, "Did we get the ratio on that tweet?" And it's like, you don't care about getting these messages; you care about getting a fucking ratio. Like you're just using this to your advantage, you know.
Yeah, if you want to call someone the T word or some slurs online, tough shit. That's a free speech issue. You know, if you're repeatedly telling someone in graphic terms how you are going to murder them, I actually think there should be some law enforcement out there that should look at that, see if there's a criminal case and pursue it. I think if you introduced consequences into the equation for the most extreme cases, I think that would do a lot of good here. So, you know, it's really frustrating that activists are putting this.
I mean, that is, well, the thing is, I think it is illegal already to do that. It's just that I think that pursuing those cases is probably difficult, particularly if it's online, different jurisdictions, different country maybe. You know, there's some of this stuff, like, the reality is, in the online world, some of this stuff is just the nature of the beast and you just cannot get around it, right? You're in America, some fucking nutter from whatever sends you a bunch of shit saying they're going to chop you into pieces, okay, in fucking Timbuktu, right? Okay. What can you possibly do about that? What, extradite some fucking idiot from Timbuktu to the... Like, it's just the nature of the beast. Hey! Harmful Opinions! Stay for the raid, my friend. Hope you're well. I see you've been fighting the good fight for the gamers. We're going to do a little segment in a bit about the gamers. So look out for that, guys. Coming after this, we finish watching this. About another 25 minutes on this. So that's probably about 3 hours, knowing me. But we're going to be doing the Valorant R-word thing. I'm looking forward to that. I've got a lot of takes. I've been thinking about this a lot, okay? I've been thinking about... Okay, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. So yeah, anyway, I just think that, you know, the nature of the online world is that people are going to get away with doing crazy shit. If someone is doing something that is super threatening or something, sure.
Off depressed people.
This week Doxpin went down. Some Twitter posts show the admin got caught IRL. Might be an exit strategy.
Oh yeah, thanks for the 420. Someone mentioned this earlier. claiming the owner of Docspin got captured or kidnapped or something, dude. Is that true? Oh. Sure, Nether Ninja. I'll take a look at it.
This place of like trying to shut down a website because the fucking FBI can't be bothered to hire 100 agents to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, but I think like at the core of it, one of the big concerns, again, I'll reiterate, is like Kiwi Farms. Look, I don't agree with whatever the fuck they're doing over there. Condemned, obviously. Null, he has a situation in place. Null's not a perfect individual, but it's a website that has far more rules about that extreme end that we're talking about, right? The extreme end of threats.
Sure.
Whole don't touch the cow mentality, so to speak, whatever happens over there. But there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the rules. You know, if I went onto Kiwi Farms and logged into my fictional account, okay, and I posted on there, and I said, I'm going to go and cause harm to this individual. You know, I've got the address now. I'm going to go hurt them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You know. Oh look, guys! I sent them a bunch of fucking DMs about how much I think they're a fucking whatever slur, etc. Like, I'm 99% sure that's going to get you banned. You know. So yeah, people have got this idea that it's like a complete free for all. Obviously, it's a lot more lax than like Twitter or Facebook or something. But yeah, you know, I actually don't have an account on there. I don't actually need to ever have an account because, you know, I just open it for information and for laughs from time to time. You know, that's it. But yeah. By the way, what's happened to Just a Worm? I don't think they've come back yet, have they? Like, you know, the truth of it is, okay, that information, there's a bunch of private information that exists on KF for a bunch of people who are not in any threat, right? Any meaningful threat. And the people that are at risk, it doesn't really matter anyway, because if someone wanted to do something, they'd probably better find their information quite easily nonetheless, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's get through this, because, dude, I'm fucking so bored of talking about this fucking stupid thing.
There are websites like Website Zero, for instance, where Vile was operating, right? Where Vile was putting out information. Vile, who actually commits illegal actions like using federal agents, that should be the website targeted. And it's not as if the FBI can't do anything. They literally arrested a couple of their operators because of the levels of illegal crime that they were doing.
It's not like it's your situation. I'm telling you, like, well, you've had a big problem with Kiwi Farms, but you should be talking about this more important website. That's why I think Keffals is malicious. She had a problem with this more important website, and she took the fight to Kiwi Farms anyways. Yeah.
I mean, I can't defend that. I can't. So I think.
And to not disclose it even after, you know, like
the criticism.
Wait, sorry, I got distracted.
I'm telling you, like, well, you've had a big problem with Kiwi Farms, but you should be talking about this more important website. That's why I think Keffals is malicious. She had a problem with this more important website, and she took
Docspin. It's called Docspin, everyone.
the fight to Kiwi Farms anyways. Yeah.
I mean, I can't defend that. I can't. So I think.
And to not disclose it even after, you know, like
the criticism is very fair. I mean, you know, there was a political.
The reason why she wanted the Kiwi Farms gone was not necessarily because of the harassment she wasn't receiving the harassment from Kiwi Farms in the sense that what we were told in the public, she was receiving it primarily from Website Zero and the Vile group.
Docspin.
That was actually the one doxing her. Right?
Yeah.
This whole thing is a case of disinformation. There's 4 different versions of the story of what happened on the day she was swatted. There's what website was going after her. There's now a dispute on whether she used the money to get away from an abusive partner or use it to get away from people from Kiwi Farms, both of which are stories that she herself have told, right? So at what point do I not see this as like, oh, this is a person?
I hate DeOrio's voice so bad. I mean, yeah, I do understand that. I do understand some people think he's got an annoying voice. Think about what it's like to be on a call with him.
Who's obviously gone through a lot and they're making a lot of like extremely bad decisions, or what point is this person just bad? They're just malicious. They're taking advantage of the good faith they know they can get from a community that doesn't often critique their own.
She has continuously lied to her audience this entire time.
I mean, I just saw a DM 5 minutes ago. I don't think this is super relevant to like the discussion that we're specifically having, but it's talking about Destiny, Destiny's wife. Remember when Keffals like walked up and confronted Destiny's wife at TwitchCon? Here's a message from Clara. If I ever get pressed on this again, I'll say, look, I don't think I did that, but
source? Question mark? Source?
Even if I did, it was a long time ago, and I've grown a lot as a person. That's such a funny response to give to people. Like, I mean, this is a person who knows what they're doing. They have like,
my word is my bond. Okay, my word is my bond.
I guess this is like where we all need to kind of agree, and this is like where I don't think there's any form of like misconception. The problem with her portrayal of this whole drop Kiwi farm stuff was, in my research in this entire situation, there are 2 websites that I looked at. Okay, Kiwi Farms for
Leaky Logic. No, that was just telling a story at a party. Okay, that's allowed. We weren't allowed to stream in there, so I had to, like fucking RoboCop, recording it all in my head.
For a lot of the archive material, the archive links, not sourcing them as a actual source, but because of the archive links that I pulled up to see screenshots on Twitter, right? Twitter is still the primary source of a lot of those tweets because that's where they were made. The other website, Website Zero, was where I found all of the information.
Boxbin. Chud may not be well liked, but he doesn't. Oh yeah, that was Seven that said that. By the way, I think Seven mentioned. Well, I think this is okay to say, but yeah, Seven was sending me info at the time too. Seven was in there to find out more information, and they're the one that told me that Cherry was freaking out. Didn't you leak the perfect? Well, who can say? I'm just a conduit of information.
Regarding, accounts, information, Uber Eats orders, fucking personal information, not just Clara, but the people surrounding her. The focus was put on Kiwi Farms, and this is the reason it was put on there is because she found it convenient to launch the nuke against there, because if she had gotten Kiwi Farms completely taken down, the video I made cataloging her terrible behavior could not have existed, because there would be no archive. We can't pull up those archives on mainstream platforms because a lot of those platforms take down the worst of content, or they can easily operate mass flagging operations on these sites. You can't do that on Kiwi Farms. So if she was really genuine, and I would have supported her had she gone against Website Zero with all of the bravado, instead she chose Kiwi Farms because it satiated her personal benefit to get rid of all the bad will against her. And this goes for anybody that was critical. I've had some of the biggest, I shouldn't even be saying this, I had a big creator reach out to me on a private DM, and I could have easily slapped them back with some real saucy shit that was sourced right from the farm, because all they did was archive it. The reason why a lot of people wanted this site gone is because it held their worst skeletons in the closet.
Oh my god!
Stuff that would consistently deconstruct their narratives they put out.
Yo, that's actually based. Let's go. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? I wonder who the big creator was. Damn. I don't know. I genuinely got no idea who it was. I don't really speak to Mutahar that much, if at all, really. I just know people that know him more. But yeah, no idea. Guess away, guys. But no, Mutahar's correct about that. I think that a lot of the focus tends to be on the bad stuff because people, if you were like, let's get this website taken down because it's got embarrassing information about something Cringer did a few years ago, people are going to be like, what? But if it's like, no, it's a big bad doxing website, and did you know they've harassed a bunch of people to death as well, and all the other shit they say about it, it bolsters it, and then you never have to reveal that actually there is some stuff on there that you probably do want taken down. Like, who's that Liz Fong Jones person? Liz Fong Jones, I think. I don't know, I haven't asked him, but Dark Viper. Wait, what? Wait, what? You reckon? Oh, okay. Maybe. But anyway, I think that yeah, there's definitely an element, a bit massive point of it, of like trying to get stuff you don't like on there getting taken down.
That's it.
Do you think that's it? I think that's so cynical. I really
because here's the thing: the Kiwi Farms is going to be shitting on me. I can't look. People will call me a street shitter all day on Kiwi Farms. It's not something that fucking burns me. I've been called that a million. I've been called that since I was a fucking kid.
Actually, to be fair to KF, I think that when the Keffals video dropped, a lot of the comments were like, "Okay, we'll hold off the Indian jokes for about a week." And I think it's still in the next week, so I think we're good.
Sure.
But going on, it might even contain a lot of these sites contain my personal information, but that's not a reason that I go up against them. I try not to give that as much attention as I can.
But
because I
Mutahar,
can't
this is my issue with your analysis. And I think this is a problem that permeates the space. And like I have this problem. It's like there's how can I put this? It's almost like sooner or later you're put into a category and then everything you say or do is like filtered through this bad faith lens, right? It's seen in...
Sure, but that's on a fucking website that most people don't even fucking know exists, or, you know, are not going to necessarily go and look at for every single interaction they have with you. Like, yeah, of course, they say shitty things. I mean, there's a lot of theory crafting they do, which is, you know, clearly that, it's their opinion, but like, obviously, you're going to get people that look at that and just come to a conclusion. That's just inevitable. But then they would do that about anything, any fucking public information that exists about you. And, you know, it's all archived and documented. So if people do want to be more reasonable and look at the actual facts of the matter, you can go and do that and come to whatever conclusion you want to, you know?
In this certain way that just makes you assume the worst. And I think
I'll give you an example of why I don't want Kiwi Farms, like why I don't have my like death wish against it. Why I wasn't like why this was an indifferent thing is because I never took money from my community, and that evidence exists somewhere on a server somewhere. You know,
I hear what you're saying.
Me, it doesn't matter. Like I can die today and not have to worry about anything bad. I don't have any like fucking looking me a million times all day, every day. You'll never find any evidence of me fucking talking, you know, salaciously to any minor.
I literally have never read my Kiwi Farms thread because I behave in a way.
Okay, I'm going to smash the X button to doubt on that one. There's no way. I do not believe that for a fucking second, dude.
I tell the truth. I behave with integrity, and I'm sure they've got stuff on there that's embarrassing because I'm a human and I do embarrassing stuff. I don't care. But what I'm saying to you is like the bad faith, the really dark interpretation, she's cynically trying to destroy evidence. And I think like the good faith interpretation would be, here are some assholes, they're harassing her. Keffals does have a temper. I've got a temper. She wanted to strike back and destroy them. I think that
she's doing it by wearing like the trauma equivalent of blackface. She's like recounting all the stories of like,
if that's...
Yo, okay. Based comment from Nicholas. True, I'm very true.
Talking about like dead people.
I'm saying there's another possibility of what her motives are.
I know, but she's talking about dead people in comparison to her own story that didn't happen. You don't understand? Like she's like pulling up people who killed themselves and using them as examples why we need to push her story that's not real to take down a website that didn't specifically harm her the way she's claiming.
Sure.
And not actually going after the real perpetrator.
Sure.
And then I asked her about it, and she told me, "Well, I don't think there's enough momentum." So you're thinking about this like it's an op? Is this like a business move? Because that's how she spoke to me. That's what I got from this.
Yeah.
Is that this is all fake? It's all fabricated.
You know, I'd have to look more into this story to say.
To be honest with you, Brianna, actually watch the whole video. Don't watch that last quarter like I told you to. Watch the entire video.
I watched the whole video. I watched it twice.
You said.
Damn. Nicholas, I mean, you know, it's an annoying response, but I think it just demonstrates what Nicholas said was it cooked. Nicholas DeOrio cooked. Okay? Yes. Exactly, Nicholas. Look at Nicholas fucking look at Nicholas in chat picking up his own shit. Landed. Yes, it did, mate. Well done.
You listened to it. You said you listened to it and didn't watch it. Yeah, you need to sit down and actually watch it with your eyes, because what he shows, you're going to see that she has been a constant liar this entire time, and she has played the fuck out of every single one of y'all.
So to be fair, Mutahar, you cribbed a lot of that stuff from Destiny's video, which I've seen a lot, or at least it contained the same information. So that was part of why I listened to it. Because
Well,
like
one
for
of the
the first
reasons,
30
well,
minutes, I
that
heard
was
it all.
so.
Yeah.
Usually, I'm like one of those guys where I'm like, I don't care if you watch or listen to my videos, but that's a video that I highly recommend you watch because that was the one video where it's like fucking we saw screenshot after screenshot after fucking screenshot. And
Fair enough.
I was meticulously going and slapping those up on the screen just so that, because my whole thing is, look, I don't like to make a video that's like bad faith, or I don't like to make a video where I can go with a narrative that I can't necessarily prove. Look, videos of mine, I could probably have an inconsistency or two because, again, not perfect, and obviously this situation involved other writers.
Who the fuck is no comment check, and why did you call me tipster
Okay,
for
that's
the
wonderful.
straights?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Destiny left Melina for the wussy.
Thank you for the 420. I've got to be honest, Nicholas. In fact, didn't I say the opposite? No, I said the opposite. Didn't I say the opposite? I think that's just a play on what I said, isn't it?
Or the researchers. This is the first time I actually had to like work with a few people to make sure we were all checking each other. So, you know, there may be an error too, but so far in the last 2 days, there hasn't been anything that's been found out. But, you know, hey, look, we dug up everything that we can to put on the screen, and we showed that it was pristine, untouched archive links, just so people can read through and see a proper timeline. Because I really feel like she has been so bad faith in talking about the situation. There were clips from the H3 podcast that I showed where she wasn't pressed hard enough on talking about these situations at all.
Yep.
And she needed to have been pressed at the time. And this is a situation where now the story is...
Well, the thing is, I think at the time, Keffals had created such a mysticism around their own shit that no one, like, to question it was to be transphobic in and of itself, you know? Yeah, Ethan definitely massively fucked up there for sure. I mean, it was a massive platform and a chance to turn the thumbscrew, so to speak, and it just didn't happen because I think at the time Ethan was more invested in the progressive shit, right? Like I think he was more in with Hassan and so on. Transphia, is that what we're calling it? Is that what we're, I mean, listen, it's relevant. It's a fair thing to say because yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, these people will fucking come for you, and at best you'll get called a transphobe and they'll try and smear your public perspective, and at worst they'll, you know, fucking dox you and shit like that. You know, these people are not beyond Kiwi Farms tactics. You know, they are. Remember when fucking, what was it? Stone Toss got fucking doxed. And all of a sudden, doxing was based, apparently, and actually repeating the name, the state he lives in, I think even city, I believe. I think it was a small town or city or something. They fucking kept saying it again and again. And all of a sudden, it's fine to fucking dox someone because they're a bad person. It's just fucking ridiculous. Also, who was under false pretenses. He thought this operation was public and was told it's on Twitch. So he must have thought, oh, there is no way they're doing anything wrong then. Yeah.
Amassed together in an hour 33 minutes, and I feel that it's in a perfect way where nobody has to sift through 400 pages of like a Kiwi. You don't have to touch the fucking Kiwi Farms if you think your computer is going to get like fucking transphobic.exe through it in some capacity, okay? You don't even, you can watch a video and get it all right there. So this is a situation where I really think like we've built a case against this one person, and I don't feel like anybody in this community should be running a cover. If this was the gaming community, and this was like the Mama Max of the community, there's no way anybody can defend the guy. You know?
I hope it doesn't come across as I'm defending her today. I mean, I feel like I've said over and over.
Keffals has got trauma, okay? Keffals is misunderstood. Like, what? These are statements of defense, of course. If you say that, actually, the reason that someone did something is because they're suffering from trauma, that is a defense of them, because you're saying that you need to take into account other mitigating factors to, you know, not be as harsh or as mean to them about something. Well, we did finally get there, I guess. You know, I just think that it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a very politically minded thing. You know, I don't know to trust this as like a genuine change of a perspective or something. We did get there. Oh, hey. Hey, Keemstar. Rest in peace, Keffals. Okay. Well, no, what I mean by we got there is like the tone of this call has changed. And obviously, Brianna is a very slithery political operator. Okay. But the fact the tone's changed, I think, is something.
Over, I think there's some really fair criticism.
You want to see my take about the cast review? I mean, I've been I mean, you know, I used to buy into some of the progressive narratives about the trans healthcare shit. But since the cast review came out, I mean, really it just cemented perspectives that I've had for a little while now, about how it's dealt with, about the way that progressives push lies about stuff being settled science and shit like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think that a few months ago, I looked at some report from the British Medical Journal, and it was talking about how there's information that suggests that it's not quite this narrative of like, if you don't give them that, they'll kill themselves. That's massively overstated by progressive trans activists. So yeah, I've kind of had my mind changed already quite a bit over time on it. And I think it really just cemented a lot of things. The thing that I did find quite interesting was this idea that like, there's this perception that if you just allow social transition, then that's definitely something that can, you know, you can come back from. And then if you decide that you're not trans, that's it, you come off of it, no problems. But it could actually potentially be, you know, first step in a process, and just to be cautious of that. But other than that, it was just kind of stuff that I'd seen or heard about or kind of thought already, I think. But yeah, that's my view on it. I covered it. I don't know if we did any segments out of it because it was a bit boring, but we did talk about it.
Here, God, maybe it's just like she's going after me the other day publicly on Twitter, and I just let it go. And I chalk it up into my head as, you know, she's going through some tough stuff. Maybe that's just.
No, the reason Keffals did that is because they probably, through sheer time alone, or maybe they had some background insight that we didn't see, recognized that there was going to be a very damaging video that came out about them. So they tried to pivot to attacking you in order to garner support amongst the more woke trans to hopefully retain some of their audience when this fucking bomb dropped on them. That's what I think it was. You know, it wasn't just very devious, it's a very devious approach. And it's very common with Keffals that, you know, one example would be, remember when the rehab thing, Keffals was about to come back from rehab, and then all of a sudden the legal case was filed, right? And it was like aligning perfectly with them coming back to streaming. And it's the same thing here. Oh shit, something bad is about to happen. Let's see what I can pivot off to. Oh, Briannu Wu is bad now, actually. You know, to try and retain some of that core audience, I think. That's probably what that was. The Karl Max stuff, oh my god. I don't know if I even covered that. It was quite shitter tier stuff. I think I spoke about it briefly. But yeah, basically trying to, you know, manipulate a debate to make themselves look better. God, it's just, dude, it is fucking shameful. Absolutely shameful. I think the only times I would ever message DK something is normally to be like, can you just call the guy an F slur on this thumbnail? I generally let him just do his thing. But yeah, it's like, oh, can we, this guy's really pissing me off. Call him an F slur on the thumbnail in a moment of anger. And then I'm like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. But then the video's out and it's too late. Anyway, come on, let's get through this. I want to get to the fucking other shit I've got to do, and it's late.
Did you see the screenshot that I leaked?
Yes, I did. I was really pissed off about that.
Because it's funny, because I saw you defending Tipster and them, and I'm just wondering what
did
they
I
were
defend
saying.
Tipster?
Oh,
I think so. In the past.
Nicholas is about to start kneeling on his fucking on his autistic interest. Tipster, let's go.
Yes, I have.
Well, that's what I mean in the past, and it's like I wonder what they were thinking about you.
Yeah, it really hurt my feelings, to be honest with you.
Well,
I feel like I've been a good
ground on
friend
that
to her.
one.
I feel like I've genuinely tried to be the best friend to her I can, and you know, I think that really made me feel hurt, to be honest.
Brianna, guess what? your best friend or the
She's
best
not
friend
my
that you
best
could
friend.
be, guess what? The best friend that you could be to her, she fucked you over and lied to you for years, homegirl. Okay? Just to let
I
you
really
know,
feel like
she
if you want to
lied
be
ya.
empathetic towards somebody, it's not about like she doesn't have to respond to anything in the video. I really don't. I don't care. But I saw her tweet about that shit. Nobody is begging for any response. Trust me. I said my piece. I move on to the next fucking thing that sticks in my head or it's on my fucking content dartboard. That's how my brain works. That's how my fucking ideas work. That's it. I don't care so much for a response. I do think the community as a whole, the trans community, should be holding her to accountability over how she's acted, how she's ran some of these ranch catboy servers, and more importantly, how she's actually been operating, like, you know, her money, her GoFundMe, because look, me and you have both given her money. I gave her like $5, okay? So fucking I want to see an accountability spreadsheet on that fucking money. Because if it wasn't
honestly, right? Like, because Keffals fans are so retarded, there is a move that Keffals could make. Just come clean. That is the play. Because I guarantee you, yes, there'll be a lot of blowback from everyone, right? That's a lot of rupees, true. There'll be a lot of blowback, but I tell you what will happen. Keffals' core audience will go, oh, well, at least you've taken accountability for it. And it was a couple of years ago, so don't worry about it. Keep the money, okay? And they'll continue to watch Keffals. I guess the only problem with that is you might be opening yourself up to legal consequence, but I don't know too much about that. Bo Blacks? Blow Blacks? Okay, come on.
going towards a legal case with fucking the London police in a way that it should have, then we've got an issue going on. We've got a big problem.
I agree. I agree, and I think there's potentially legal liability there. So there it is. Mutahar, before I jump off, I just want to say your last video, you were talking about 501 for a C4 tax law, which is something I deal with a lot. If you ever do a video where you need more clarity on that, I can hook you up with a compliance person.
Make some more connections, a bit more networking, a little bit more networking, of course. Couldn't end the call without a little bit of networking, could we?
Okay, that's wonderful.
Because there's some.
How do I make money off depressed people?
The CAS report works of the idea that trans is just autism, but it's not transphobic. I hated the hysteria over the report when it came out.
Thank you for the $5. I mean, yeah, it was insane, including fucking Erin Reed.
Stuff in that I thought was a little shaky.
Anytime.
Fair enough.
Brianna, before you leave, there's a trans person that's been waiting in call. They've been wanting to talk to you for a while. Is there any way I can pull them in so you can have a conversation with them?
What do they want to talk about? What they want to talk about?
I'm not too sure what they. I know they're aggravated by you, but
if
I just
I'm
feel like
on trial, I feel like
Well, no, I just feel like I don't know a whole lot about this. I feel like like the whole thing. We've been talking about trans stuff for so long.
The best part.
I mean, the point of view of a trans person, bring them in, talk to you.
Sure.
If it goes awry, you know, you can always just leave or tell me to kick them out. I'll do it or whatever.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, cool. Reese, you're on.
Hello.
Oh fuck! That was click.
Reese, you had some issues with Brianna?
Yes, I do. So to start with, you are really, really, really like you're being so like I don't know what the word is, but sorry, I'm already pissed off. You're going around the main fucking point of everything. Like we try and say something about how Keffals is being shitty and like talking to minors about HRT, but then you say, oh no, it's about the politics behind it. Right now, this whole Mutah's video was about Keffals. It's not about the politics to do with this.
Yes!
You keep on deflecting and going on to all these other things. And like you kind of say as well that like because Keffals has gone through trauma and addiction, that gives her some fucking like a little bit of grace. I'm not being funny, but we are trans. We should know to call out these fucking people when they're doing shit. You can't
I've
just
said
sit
on
around.
this repeat.
We have found the base trans person that everyone keeps talking about. We found him. Eh? This is the one that everyone keeps mentioning. Or there's some normal trans people. This is the person that we keep saying again.
Repeatedly, that she needs to be held
No, but you're still giving her
multiple
excuses
things.
for shit. You're still saying, oh, she's had trauma, she's had this, she's had that, she's had Ricky with,
If
she's had people
I
harm.
don't-
It doesn't
if
fucking matter.
my-
It doesn't
Oh!
fucking matter. You need to listen to everyone who's talking, not just your like her and Keffals is this little fucking cult. You need to listen to actual other trans people who aren't licking her ass. Because it seems like that's what you're doing. You just keep on giving just justifications for her.
Can I please talk? If my opinion on Keffals is more nuanced than yours, I can't pretend that it's not more nuanced. It's my genuine opinion. I think I've answered questions
You've got to stand up for
directly.
people like us.
I'm going to
Stand
finish
up for
what
people like us. You keep on fucking interrupting me, dude. Like, for real. Like, you got to stand up for people like us and stop. Just because Keffals is your buddy, you can't say, oh, just because she's, you know, she's got stuff going on. So fucking what? We call out these people when they fuck up. We don't pussyfoot around just because she's trans, just because we're trans. It doesn't fucking matter. If anything, that makes that we stop fucking interrupting me. If anything, that should make us fucking call her out more than other people, because we're not going to sit around and take this shit. With you people, you saying stuff like this, it's making all of us look fucking terrible, and as if we just sit and take this shit. I'm sick of it.
I hear what you're saying. I think that.
I hear what you're saying. You can tell the fucking media training shit is so obvious, dude. You hear what you're saying, okay?
Anger is very fair. I think it's a point of view that needs to be out there. I think Keffals needs to hear that. I can't pretend. I cannot
Reese, you gotta let Brianna respond to you.
I can't pretend that my point of view is not what my point of view is.
Trans Queeman? Question mark? Trans Queeman?
That's what I can do here. I think I've answered the questions that have been asked to me today fairly. I think I've hit them head on. And like, we're talking about the need to police the community, which I fully agree. We desperately.
Why is everyone saying trans Queeman is just Queeman? What the fuck's that about?
Desperately need. Do you think we do that by like leaping to the angriest conclusions? Or do you think it's like sitting down and talking this stuff with a little bit of nuance like adults? I actually think that gives it a lot more credibility if you do that. So maybe we just have different personalities, but it's just genuinely who I am.
People have tried to do that in the past. Don't act like you're the first person now to be saying stuff about Keffals. People like me, I've been saying for years how much of a shitty ass person that she is, but it's only now that people are saying stuff because she's done such a bad thing that no one can turn a side eye to it anymore. I'm not being funny. People have been calling this shit out for years. For fucking years. And you people aren't listening to it because you're part of a fucking catboy cult.
Catboy cult? I don't think I'm part of a catboy cult.
Is, man. Come on. Like, I'm not being funny, but like, you just. These are
someone
who
I
sits around.
kind of know. It's not like streaming is just like a bonus mission.
Money off depressed people.
Hey, thank you for the $2. Are you with me, Dr. Wu? Are you really just a shadow of the man that I once knew? Thank you very much for the $2.
Thing that I do with my job. Like, this is not my job. Like, Keffals is not the center of my life. She's just.
So why are you trying to act like you're like an authority and like you're trying to give justifications and reasons for everything that she's done? If you're not part of it, then why are you even like trying to say shit about it?
I think if
I know that I'm fucking no one. I'm trying to talk to you about it, and you're trying to make this whole fucking bullshit justification.
Reese is based. Reese is not no one. Reese is based.
I don't think I am.
Well, I'm not being funny, but you're trying to say that like she's had addiction problems because of Kiwi Farms. That's giving a justification of shit. Is that not?
I think context is not justification. I'm saying this plays into
You literally said, "Oh, you've got to give her some grace because
you're flaming at me in a really immature way." So I'm going to.
You've literally said.
I'm going to answer your question.
Let Brianna finish.
Like an adult.
Like a fucking adult. Get over it.
Stop.
So this is the thing. If you're talking about this, and Keffals has an addiction issue. Like talking about that context, that's not excusing it. You're doing the exact same thing that the trans rights extremists do, where everything is good or bad or black or white or up or down. And we just need a smarter conversation top to bottom. I am not defending Keffals. I'm trying to explain how I came to my assessment of what's going on with her and what the path forward is.
I have trauma. I didn't make a GoFundMe and stick most of it up my fucking nose.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Like, you're trying to give justifications.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not justifying.
I'm fucking. Oh my god, this is just ridiculous, man.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to say, Reese?
Reese has just absolutely annihilated it. What the fuck just happened? Well done, Reese. Well done, Reese.
Honestly, I'm sick of trans people like this trying to talk over the fucking rest of us. I'm sick of it. I'm genuinely sick of it. Like, this person can't go around thinking that she's like, just because she's Keffals' friend, that she knows everything about what's going on. And like, I'm not being funny, but Muta's video was fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
I enjoyed it.
You haven't listened. You haven't. How can you agree if you haven't watched it properly? You haven't listened to. You haven't watched the whole part about Catboy Ranch properly, have you?
Okay.
Okay. Maybe you should watch it.
Oh my god. It's the shutting down is wild. It's just like, okay. Okay. Reese is fucking mogging.
I should.
And know about what your little buddy does. And actually call that shit out when it happens.
Okay.
All right,
Reese
I think
won.
we've reached an impasse.
Reese won. Reese won. Reese W.
Point.
Okay.
We're just gonna go around in
I think
circles.
this is how the trans community
Peter.
fixes itself. You just need to scream until all the bad people go away. That's how we're gonna fix it.
Voltage might celebrate
that's
2
not
months
how it
of
Great.
membership.
Keffals leaving when?
Thanks for membership.
All right. All right. Well, Brianna, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, thanks for having me on. I didn't know it was going to be this. But,
Reese.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on.
Reese.
It's gonna turn out to be this.
I just didn't want this lie to stand where that wasn't my YouTube channel, so I needed to correct that. So.
Come on over to commentary, Beckett. Leave Twitch poll. It will be great over here. Nothing will happen.
Brought them with you.
I didn't bring them fucking with you. You put the fucking tweet in, motherfucker.
Followed you.
Dude, Twitch poll is fucking dead. What is this? Dude, it's over. It's so fucking over, man. Fucking hell. I've not even checked in on any of those fucking idiots. What is even happening over there anymore? Is there even anything happening? Chud brought us with him. I don't fucking think so. Okay, that ladder is flying up. Straight in front of your face. Okay? I don't fucking think so. Putting that ladder straight up. Get back down there where you belong, you fucking losers.
They followed you, Beckett, okay?
Listen, both you and Xylee are responsible for this shit, and I take no accountability. Fuck this. If Keffals can take no account, I was traumatized. I was traumatized. None of this is my fucking fault. Fuck all of you. I was sat there typing.
Game coming soon.
Yes, good idea. Thank you very much for the membership. Appreciate it.
People gonna cover for you. People gonna cover for
I'm
you.
just like, I've got PTSD.
I got
I'm having
you.
fucking flashbacks. Shit.
I got you, bestie. Don't you worry. I got it written down right now with the speech I'll give you.
Thanks. Well, thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for
Brenna.
calling in, Rice.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Thank
jump
you so
off.
much.
Bye,
appreciate
y'all.
it.
All right,
Thank you very much, Boo.
Thank you, Reese. Great call.
Thank you for having
Thank
me
you.
on. Appreciate you guys.
Cheers, Reese.
Reese.
Yes. Hello.
You did good.
Yes.
True.
Thank you, Xylee. I appreciate you.
I
And also,
appreciate
Muta
you.
is not transphobic.
Oh yeah, we know.
Well, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, Reese absolutely mogged, honestly. But I guess that's it. Is that the end of it? Because I've been on this for a long time. And I want to talk about rape, quite honestly. To be quite frank. I want to talk about rape. Fucking hell. There we go. No, that was annoying, but also interesting. I don't know. I said all my things I got to say. That's it now. Oh. Well, it's not well. I've got a rape review, but first of all, I need to talk about rape threats in video games, which is going to be fun. But yeah, obviously, you know, I'm going to keep my eyes on it. I am quite skeptical that we're going to see big ticket walkbacks from like mainstream press. I'll be pleasantly surprised, of course, but yeah. I just don't think that people are going to want to eat their humble pie, you know? Everything with Briannu Wu in it is sickening to watch. It's like watching a programmed robot give the nastiest honey-coated takes. Yes, I concur. DK, that is exactly correct. DK's once again nailed it. Well, I don't know when this was. At some point, it's coming. Okay, don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. But yeah, let's move on.